who are still all hanging out in the carnival. Still have time before. So there are essentially 3 events that are taking place. Um, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner of the map, you had the welcome gifts. Um, you had the big top extravaganza has not happened yet, and then the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch is the end of the carnival evening, which is more like really early morning. So what we can do real quick, let's see.
Just so that I have a bit of a better frame of reference for this, I see that there are time like markers for those events. Is it something like each thing we go to is like passing time once?
Not really.
Okay,
It is left to the DM to decide how time is passing, essentially.
gotcha.
Um, there would like if we were playing this on like I mentioned this, if we were playing this like on the tabletop, they would include there are other markers that would be included. So like there was a start here, and I would progressively move that along so you were all were aware of where we were in the time frame. Though I don't particularly think that's overly important. And then at the bottom right hand corner, you'll see the this is the mood of the carnival. And it's would be the second from the middle going up at this point you because you all participated in the snail racing, the mood of the carnival went up. So depending on your actions, there are consequences of the mood of the overall carnival. You could also track that, but again, I don't really know how useful that is necessarily. But let me.
Okay.
Uh, the only thing I don't like about doing modules on Roll20 versus like out of the book is that things are not actually in like necessarily the order that you would do them in. A lot of these things are actually just like in alphabetical order, which is not particularly helpful. They're just like, okay, here's chapter 1 and here's everything in alphabetical order. Great. Um Trying to find because I'm going to give William a welcome gift because we didn't do it for him. All right, Mike, go ahead and roll a d8.
All right.
All right. So like everybody but Callum and Ragna, so basically there was a treant that was walking around and a little squirrel that was throwing the little like pinwheel maple seeds or whatever. And then you were getting also dandelions, but you caught a seed and it turned into a gold piece, so you can add 1 gold piece to your.
Ooh, okay.
Callum and Ragna both received the personality trait until dawn of I am easily amused. And any conflicting character trait is suppressed in the meantime.
I think we were the real winners here.
Yep.
Um, Also, everybody was given the opportunity because I think it was just what it was a dexterity check to try and catch one of the seeds or the dandelion seeds.
Okay.
So you can make a dexterity check real quick.
Like a save or just a straight
Just
dex
just
roll?
just a check. Okay, yeah. So you had definitely caught one. So you are then also given the opportunity to make a wish, in which case you would just I am me in Discord, whatever you think William would wish for. Because everybody got a wish, actually. Everybody caught one.
All right.
We're a bunch of Dexy boys.
Hmm. So,
And Ragna.
yeah. So that's where we are.
Sounds good.
What next then? What next?
Oh. Let's go to the Pixie Kingdom next, and then the Mystery Mine.
Yes, that seems like a good plan. Then we can make our way back up around this way.
Yes. And she runs to the Pixie Kingdom.
Here, let me just do this because might be easier for everybody as well. We will use. Let me double check. This is correct. Yeah. All right. So we'll put Astra on the board here, and Astra will be the party token
That is a good choice.
because everybody can control it too.
choice.
So
I don't think I. Oh yes, I can. Just in a weird spot.
oh my God, the birds! Here, let me make this token a little bit smaller so that we can kind of see the map.
Pretty sure that was the Pixies.
It could have been. Could have been. So, let me get back to this. So, the Pixie Kingdom. A copse of oak trees shelters a miniaturized fairground. At its heart, a hamster runs inside a tiny Ferris wheel encircled by minuscule wagons and candy stalls. A pixie sits cross-legged in the hollow of a tree at the entrance to this realm. The pixie sort of waves everybody over, introduces himself as Jeremy Plum. And you can see that he's barking at everybody, that passes by, and asks everybody to come along.
I will follow.
I just like the fact that they named a pixie Jeremy. Like, really? That's a great one. So Jeremy says, "Yes, yes, please come in. Also, if you don't mind, or if you'd like to really get into the spirit, you can go ahead and choose a pixie name if you'd like. And if you all want to, you can roll a D8 to determine what your pixie name would be. I guess he could
Yes.
offer to name you. Ragna.
Is mine Ron?
Oh God.
Duplicates will roll again. So if you rolled
All right.
second,
Well, I'm gonna get a duplicate of every. Okay, there we go.
all right. So
Arvid needs to
Arvid needs to
re-roll.
roll again. Yeah. Only
Okay.
2 of these names won't be used. So keep going.
Again.
Keep going. Keep going.
One more time. There you
All right.
go.
There you go. All right. So Jeremy is going to name Ragna Toadhop.
She excitedly starts hopping. Very amused.
Toadhop. Signe, your name is Cotton Candy.
How is the pixie named Jeremy the one giving out pixie names?
I know, right? Maybe he's just, upset that he's named Jeremy, so he's just trying to live vicariously through other people.
Maybe they aren't
Parents
actually
want-
pixie names.
Maybe his parents wanted him to grow up to be a business accountant.
This is true. Callum, your name is Puddle Mud.
Puddle mud.
Johan, your name is Panache. William is Bright Might. And Arvid has the best one of all, Jellybean Starfish. So, as he's giving you all your names, he also sprinkles pixie dust all over you. And he also presents each of you with a potion that he says, you to participate in our Pixie Kingdom, you will have to drink that. It'll last about an hour, but if you'd like to fit inside of everything, you'll need to take that potion, and it's just going to make you all small.
Okie dokie.
Actually,
That's
Sidney
Turkey.
pops the cork and
How-
slams it back like a shot.
I was gonna say, how quickly does it make us small?
it doesn't say, but well, okay, so it will make you tiny, and it will make you a tiny creature for an hour, or until you want the effect to end.
Yeah,
Um,
but
yeah,
how
it doesn't.
how quickly do we shrink?
I would say, probably within 5 seconds after drinking it.
Like an Alice in Wonderland type thing.
Because Puddle Mud is gonna take a sip, shrink a little bit, wait, take a sip, shrink a little bit, and just like step his way down through the sizes.
All right.
Yeah,
Signe is a tiny instantly because she took it like a shot.
yeah. I think
Ragna is just laughing at well, Toad Hop
Everything.
is laughing at Puddle Mud.
Jellybean Starfish is just gonna drink it, just whole.
I swear to God, I almost spit out my soup when I heard that.
So
So real quick,
the
do we all know that they are amused because of this stuff, or have they just been acting more amused lately?
you probably wouldn't. I mean, they don't know specifically that that's
Okay.
happened to them. So
Okay.
I would say you all just you don't probably know. I mean, you guys don't know Callum very well, so you might just think he's a weirdo. But
Yeah.
for Ragna, it would be like you would either. It's probably a little bit strange because she's a little bit more bubbly, I suppose,
Reserved.
than she would normally be.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that it's anything necessarily like.
Well, it's not like scary; it's just different.
Yeah, they're not like Joker laughing or anything. Like,
Okay.
it's not
Alright.
uncontrollable. They're just finding things to be a little bit more amusing. You know, like I would almost equate it more to like kind of being a little bit drunk, where things that are not really that funny become much funnier.
Gotcha.
So after you all shrink down, you can see that the Pixie Kingdom is sort of a tranquil oasis, as compared to the rest of the bustling carnival that you've been a part of. Um, the air is filled with an aroma of blackberry wine and flower blossoms, and there are 8 brightly painted doorways on the bark of the bases of these surrounding trees, which you didn't see at a larger size, but when you shrink down, you see these trees that have doors in them. And there are 12 pixies that appear to be sort of like the carnival workers here. Um, and so they kind of, when they see you all shrink down, they some of them kind of wander over to you and ask if you have any questions and let you know that you're sort of free to explore and experience, all the things that there is to experience here. Um, so
Any
one of them would,
suggestions somewhere to go first?
one at a time. You could ride the pine cone, um, and it's just it's a pine cone that kind of has a little swing on it, basically. Um, there is, you can see in the center, there is a
That
sort
sounds
of
like a euphemism.
yeah, right. There is in the center there is like what appears to be sort of like a pixie palace that is made of like old cocoon husks that are woven together. Um, there are there's food, um, like made of like cucumber melon sandwiches and thimbleberry tarts, and there is the little wheel that I mentioned about the little like the hamster that's spinning the wheel. The hamster's name is Biscuit. Um, but yeah, they will also there is a event that's not happening just yet, but they do let you know that they will be uh, shortly playing a game of hide and seek.
All right. Well, we don't have to all like stay together, right?
Nope.
Okay. William, as soon as he hears that, the first thing he's going to do is start just walking around and looking for places to hide.
Ragna's on the pine cone.
Puddle might going to see Biscuit.
I too shall go and hide.
Totally going to see Biscuit.
Aye, Jellybean the Starfish. We'll go get some wine and tarts.
Okay.
Oh, tarts do seem like a good idea. Puddlemutt's gonna go get some tarts to try to feed them to Biscuit.
Nah, I'm gonna go check on Biscuit and give him words of encouragement, and if I'm lucky, I'm gonna pet him.
So, for those of you that are interested in hiding, there is the sort of the supervisor of the pixies, whose name is Honeymint, kind of points out um, hiding places that you could potentially Biscuit's wheel being one of them. There is a flower bed, and there is a heron's nest. There is a. They've already elected who the seeker is going to be, and there's another pixie named Starbug who will be searching for everyone that is deciding to hide.
I mean, yeah, once the game starts, I'll hide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be down for some hide and seek. Well, depends on whether I'm a hider or a seeker.
Everybody would be hiders in this case.
So I'm
Also-
a cheater.
Yes.
Mm.
So also, just as an FYI, because you have all decided to participate in the Pixie Kingdom and drinking the potions and stuff, the mood of the carnival has gone up again.
Woohoo!
So, if you'd like, while you're participating on it, anybody who's interested in sort of just again looking around, go ahead and just make a perception check.
I'm best
That's
Greg is
pleased.
too amused.
Sure.
Not bad.
Oof.
Callum is also too amused.
Very much so. There is a giant, not giant hamster.
All right, and then if anybody is interested in just while you're going around doing all these things, if anybody's interested in like chatting with the pixies, sort of like just asking about the carnival and all those kind of things, because again, you are here specifically not just to play games, but to find out how to get to the Feywild. So if anybody would like to do that, go ahead and do charisma checks.
Yeah, I'd like.
Like persuasion or
Just charisma from the sounds of it.
Yeah, just charisma.
Could I ask it in Sylvan for advantage?
Sure.
Oh,
Hold on.
Just a
Yeah, I
check.
think I'm lagging out. My
Yeah, I think
rolls
it's frozen. I
under-
clicked too.
mm-hmm.
I clicked like 5 times, so
We're probably gonna get an influx of a bunch of them.
Well, I see Jellybean, Starfish, but nobody else.
yeah. Mine's like completely stopped working. I'm reloading
And that's
roll
not
20.
surprising because apparently Roll20 is falling apart today and the music doesn't work and
Yeah, I'm
Um,
refreshing too.
Yep, yep.
I just saw jellybean starfishes.
Oh no.
Oh, what's happening?
Roll20 is no longer. Oh, okay. There it goes.
That sounds so dirty.
That is not good.
Is yours also just like gone?
Oh no, my character sheet is somehow opening up spells on itself on the front screen and modifying them.
What? No.
Sounds like you got a ghost in that machine.
Tell it to stop.
starting to see charisma rolls now.
Okay, yeah, mine just reloaded finally.
Tell it you're not scared of submerging your desktop in seawater.
I'm afraid to do anything. I'm not. I haven't refreshed or anything. I'm just leaving my Roll20.
All
alone
the
for now.
charismas just came up for me.
Yeah. Except for I don't see Signa's if she rolled it.
Yeah, so do you know the rollable part in the center of your sheet where you got like your attacks and stuff?
Yeah.
Mine's just duplicated itself.
Oh. Oh no.
All right. So William and Johan don't get any real specific or anything particularly interesting as it relates to the carnival. But the other three of you the 14 and the 17 and the 21 will all earn a few rumors. So you find out that everyone is currently on the lookout for some sort of mysterious troublemaker that's using magic to disguise themselves. That's one thing. There is a mime in the carnival, one of the carnival workers named Candlefoot, and Palasha, who's a mermaid, and the two of them are in love. But on top of that, Candlefoot has lost his voice, and no one is actually sure if that is part of his act, considering he's a mime, or if something else has happened. And they're also talking about Burley, who is a bugbear, who's kind of the strong man of the carnival. But they were joking about the fact that he often talks about philosophy with people, and that, kind of joking that he has, as strong as he has more brains than he does brawn. So those are kind of the things that you hear about the carnival workers, or the carnival currently. A mysterious person who's hiding themselves, Candlefoot the mime has lost his voice, and Burley the bugbear likes to talk about philosophy.
Sounds like an interesting chap.
So, we will go ahead and have anyone who wants to participate, as long as everybody's roll 20 is up. If anybody would like to participate in the hide and seek, again, they were pointed out 3 places of hiding: Biscuit's wheel, flower bed, and the heron's nest. So you can choose one or someplace else. I mean, obviously, only one of you would likely be able to hide in one of those 3 places. But if you'd like to participate, everybody can go ahead and roll a stealth check.
I'm gonna choose a
Doing
random
it
for you.
again. Yeah, I'm just going to reload because my sheet keeps adding shit to itself.
Those are all really good stealth rolls. Holy crap.
Oh, I'm going to use my...
Yeah, I only have a +2 also.
Yeah, I'm going to use my racial and turn invisible.
I will just find something to climb up on top of and hide.
So, for Johann, you need to make a persuasion check to, as you go to the heron's nest, you awaken the heron named Beatrice, who enjoys talking about the weather, and
Damn, is it persuasion or animal handling?
it is persuasion to
Damn
try
it.
and make her stop talking. And you succeed. She's a little annoyed that you told her to be quiet.
We'll talk later. We're in the middle of a game.
And Ragna, the flower bed is an area that is home to several talking wildflowers,
Yep.
and they're rather conceited and bicker over which of them has the silkiest petals and the finest aroma. Flattery can silence their bickering, so you can also make a persuasion check.
She
Flatter them.
will flatter them all. She will flatter them terribly.
I'm sorry. It's not that you're ugly. You're just so funny looking.
But isn't charisma one of your stats?
It is. It's +6, but
Yeah.
I rolled a 2. She flatters the wrong things. She talks about how thorns are sharp and cool, and how one of them has a really strong scent that would drive away their enemies, and things like that.
And Callum, it's the same thing. Biscuit, the hamster, is talkative. Offering food to the hamster is one way to keep him quiet, but it is a persuasion check to make Biscuit shut up.
I mean,
Um,
I,
I did this is not, you're not penalized for this. Actually, if you succeed, you would get advantage, and Johann, you would have gotten advantage on it, but you didn't need it anyway.
Let's see. Persuasion. Not one of my best ones. entirely too amused by this story to actually try to convince him to stop.
So yeah, you also, I mean, you didn't really, you wouldn't,
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't need advantage either. So
Oh, go on, it's fascinating.
okay, so let here. Roll to pull up a character sheet, I think. Change your name to Jellybean Starfish in Discord. Yeah,
I have no idea what you're talking about, sir.
it is not wanting to pull up this character sheet. All right, so go down the list. Invisible would give you advantage. Is that right?
Yeah, that's why it's a 12.
Okay. So you are actually even with invisibility, you are the first person that Starbug finds.
Well, shit.
So you are officially the loser.
Aha.
And it goes down. And it goes down the list. So actually, whoever rolled the highest is the winner, which I believe is Callum.
I believe so.
So this would have been a lot more fun if I could pull up this character sheet, but as it is, we're just going to skip to the end, and Callum is the winner. And
Callum forgot halfway through that he was supposed to be hiding and has just been talking with the hamster. Blended in too well.
Ah, I lost to you, Callum. Damn it.
Lost what? Oh, we were still yes. Yeah. Oh,
and as
You
the
weren't
winner,
even hiding. That's more insulting.
you are awarded a packet of pixie dust.
oh God. I've
That
had
sounds like fun.
that brings back memories.
Yeah, getting high off pixie dust.
Oh, this is much safer than the version of Pixie's Dust in Storm King's Thunder.
Very much a lot safer.
Yeah, and this is cut down a little bit, but you only
All
use
the
you only
fun
use it
side
once.
effects are gone.
Cool.
So at this, there is no more events that are happening in the Pixie Kingdom. So you can take your pixie dust and you can take your pixie names and you can return to your normal size and continue on to the next thing you'd like to go to.
Yep.
And it is getting,
Toadhop would say bye and thanks.
and Jeremy would wave and thank you all for participating. Please come again.
Callum shrank in portions, which means he now needs to grow in equal portions, which he finds just as amusing.
So, you imagine looking at this point because you were told about the big top happening at midnight, actually. So you are certain you have you have enough time to participate in one other thing before you should head to the big top if you'd like to go there.
Hmm.
Yep. My roll 20 froze, but Regna is up to do one more thing. I just can't see them. Oh,
We've got the
Uh,
Calliope, the Hall of Illusions, the Carousel,
I
the Feasting
believe.
Orchard, the Gondola Swans, the Silver Song Lake.
Yeah, I believe two
Regna's
people
going.
want to go to the mystery mine.
I
Yes.
thought we'd have time to do everything. The Mystery Mind was just the one that was down here.
We can go after.
Oh, that's true.
Let's go after. Or we can go to the Hall of Illusions first since it's on the way to the big top.
Ooh, that makes sense.
Also, illusions and someone hiding their own identity here could go together.
Yeah, I like to look at the illusions. Who knows? Maybe you'll see something. Maybe you see something you shouldn't have. Ha 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 ha!
Ragna also laughs.
Yeah, but like Signe is doing this with like claw hands, and like she, playfully pounces on Ragna, and is like, ah!
She'll be giggling so hard she starts crying.
Oh no!
And she starts
Signe looks up,
wheezing.
panicked. Oh my god, no! Help, William! This has never happened before.
She looks like she's having fun. What's wrong?
She's never cried like this.
Oh, you need to relax, Signe. Ah.
Don't be too concerned. It's only a happy time.
Ragnar, wheeze twice if you're all right.
Do you
She
need water?
attempts to wheeze twice. No, I'm fine. I'm just, and she starts giggling again.
Do you drink alcohol?
What?
Listen, I know you're not an experienced drinker. Did you have alcohol? Did someone slip
No.
it to you?
No?
Arvid, explain.
Well, you know, I've been saying that fey and fey creatures are tricky.
Gotcha. Okay. So they make you look drunk.
No, they've made her happy.
You. That's worse.
It seems also Callum's under the effect as well.
Oh, that is a distinct possibility.
Explains
So
why he's so chatty.
Yeah. Doesn't matter now. Let's just go to the Hall of Illusions. Come on. We gotta
Yes,
get
yes, let's go.
So, look as you are walking towards the Hall of Illusion, you can see that it's a large tent. It's painted with a mural of shifting images that show grinning fairies diving into pools of color, and you can see that the stripes on the tent that are the stripes on the tent's pointed canopies. They rotate in a spiral, so like it's
Ooh.
kind of trippy looking. And you can see that the whole display is designed to make everybody sort of a little queasy, a little befuddled. And you can see that there is a clown that is dressed in sort of a muted garb, stands at the tent's entrance, just blinking at you, not really saying anything. And you can see that there is next to him um, a glass cabinet at the entrance of the tent.
Oh, is this our mime friend who lost his voice?
Maybe. I thought he was a clown. Are you a clown, sir? Are you gonna punch our tickets for us, please?
And he sort of just motions for you to give him the tickets, and that is what he does. He punches the ticket. Sort of looks a little reluctant at this point. And you can see that he looks like he he seems very uncomfortable, and even as he's standing outside, you can see that he looks like he's trying to not stand very close to the tent itself. You can see that in this glass case that's next to him is a wooden mannequin of a grinning, raven-haired young woman in a witch's attire that has a green flowing cape that hovers inside of the glass cabinet. And on top of it, you can see a sign that says Tasha the Wizard, known for her hideous laughter.
Ragnar would laugh along as well.
If anybody would like to make a history check as it relates to Tasha and her hideous laughter, you can do so.
History. I'm too amused by Tasha and her hideous laugh.
Yeah, Calla wouldn't probably care enough to even make the check.
Arvid definitely knows that Tasha is a name that was supposedly used by Igwilv the Witch Queen, who is a legendary archmage or archmage, depending on how you'd like to pronounce it. And I will. This.
We know of Tasha, yes.
Tasha being a name that was used, so Igwilv the Witch Queen being of the Feywild and a legendary archmage, but called Tasha on the Prime Material plane. If anybody went particularly close to the mannequin, within 10 feet or so, go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, 10 feet seems reasonable, sure.
Yeah, sure, I'll make one as well.
I mean, I would have stayed with everyone else, so unfortunately. Oh, randomized, all right.
What are we doing?
If you got 10 to within 10 feet of that mannequin, go ahead and do a
Oh.
wisdom save.
Yep.
I don't trust it.
Arvid, you are as if have been affected by the Tasha's hideous laughter spell. So for the next minute or so, you are perceiving everything as hilariously funny.
I would cackle laughter, but it is 20 past midnight.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, Ragna would also laugh.
Seems to be catching.
I look at the mime. I understand why you didn't want to be near that. That's hideous.
He just kind of nods and gestures if you'd like to go inside.
Yep.
I like to double check
Absolutely.
that
Oh,
the
part of me wants to see him get close to it now. See if he actually laughs.
Or William needs to stay there for a bit longer. Maybe he needs some laughter.
I'm having a good time. You can't tell.
I'm sure he'll come by it naturally.
She giggles.
All right, so into the Hall of Illusions. Come on, we only have so much time.
Right. So, you notice that basically the Hall of Illusions is what you might expect, and essentially it is a hall of mirrors. So, if anybody would like to stand and look at themselves in the mirrors, you would notice that as soon as you first look at in the mirror, you look as you did when you were a child. And the longer that you stand there and look at it, you slowly appear to be growing older, and then you reach a point where you look like yourself currently. And then
Yeah,
How,
it
how
as
does
soon
that
as that
work
starts
for
happening,
me?
William is going to completely turn around and just walk away from the mirrors once he gets to like the age where he was taken.
for you, Johan, it's probably very little effect. The only thing that you would that would possibly change would be any changes that you would have made to the body itself. So, if you had added something or changed something like a armor plating or something like that, you may be able to see that the progression of the changes that have been made, but beyond that you would see nothing.
Okay.
Everybody else, I mean, it would also continue on. The longer is if you continue to look, you would grow old.
Oh, I
And
watched
then
right to the end.
Yeah. So essentially, you would then be looking at a corpse and then a skeleton. So it basically just shows your death, essentially.
Hmm.
Hmm. Nothing prophetic here, huh?
I am a player, and I was sitting here thinking, depending on what level this campaign gets to, it might not look like anything's happening to Callum. Because once monks get to a high enough level, they stop aging.
I mean, obviously, like Arvid would have to stand there for a really long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
Yep.
as you walk around, and I mean, it is beyond that. It is essentially sort of just like a hall of mirrors maze. There's not really anything else here. It's just sort of that creepy watching yourself die mirrors, and then just the confusion of walking through it to try and get out, and then that's it.
Callum's going to try to sneak peeks at everyone else's mirrors and see if he can see them.
Oh yeah, no. Signe's like, yeah, come on and watch. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And Ragna would have been like sitting by Signa or standing by Signa and being like, "Oh, this is so awesome! Look at us as kids."
Yeah,
Can we see other people's reflections or only our own?
Believe that you would only see the changes of your own. If you look at somebody else's reflection, you would just see their normal reflection in the mirror.
Huh. Signa, you are always that big.
Yeah, I ate my vegetables. And now look at me. Rah!
Well, on the plus side, at the rate these reflections are changing, it looks like you get to outlive me, so.
Well, the rate they're changing, I'll probably outlive all of you.
Oh, shut up, Arvid. You keep talking like that, you won't outlive anyone.
The joys
Come to
of being
think of it, it doesn't look like any of yours are changing.
Well, mine's changing to me, but upon looking at yours don't appear to be changing either, which is fine because this is kind of.
Oh.
I don't want Ragna seeing this. Ragna,
That's...
don't watch to the end. It gets morbid. None of that for you.
When do we
I
get
will
to
watch
the
it.
when do we get to the attraction?
I think
This is the
this.
attraction.
Yes, I think this is the
You
attraction.
brought me with you. I thought that was it. I'm just messing with you. Lighten up already.
No, I'm just leaving the purposeful silence.
Oh, well, this is a oddity at least, but I'm not sure there's much else here to do.
William has already left.
What a party pooper.
Maybe he wanted to go look at the mannequin.
Certainly the only one to worry about such things.
Well, if you want, I'll go check on him. I'm going to be here quite a while waiting for my guy to age, so I've got the time.
Yours wouldn't
That's
even look
alright.
like it changes anyway.
Precisely, I've got a
Look
long
at me, I'm
time.
a hoity-toity elf.
Oh, I'm only 200, don't worry.
Yeah, in human years, that's like barely drinking age. You're like, what, 12?
Do you think 12 is the drinking age for humans?
That's when I started.
This explains a lot.
Yeah, I'll go find William.
Yeah, he's just sitting found somewhere to sit, waiting for people to start walking out, and he could like watch the doorway.
Didn't like what you see?
No. Looking into the mirrors, it was strange, but it gave me a bit of a headache. I just wanted to sit for a while.
Well, not everyone likes the past and where the future's going, so don't feel bad about that.
I figure everyone seems to be having a good time. Instead of taking the mood down with uh, remaining there, I would just come outside and wait for everyone to be done.
Well, just remember to put a smile on when they come out.
Not I won't be forgetting to do that, of course.
I mean, if you wish, I can just tickle you.
William will pull a dagger out. Would you say? Yeah, not so much. But he'll have like a like half grin on his face.
I'll remember that next time you need something. No tickles for a dagger.
Fair enough. When we've been in places before, you've been able to locate magical objects, yes?
Yes, if I have that magic prepared.
Well, just thinking of what we heard, I was just wondering, uh, is it only objects, or would it be any sort of magic in general?
It's magic in general.
Okay, because it might be helpful if there is someone causing mischief or any sort of trouble in here. If they're magically cloaking themselves, it would seem you would be a good candidate to find them.
To be fair, William, we're at a carnival where it's primarily run by people from the Fae, and we've just come from a place called the Pixie Kingdom as well.
Mhm.
This is a festering ground of magic and people playing tricks.
I just figured if you saw a bit of illusion magic or something covering up someone's appearance, it might be more obvious than just the others that we've seen so far.
I mean, if you want, I can cast it, but again, kind of comes with the territory of a carnival.
Understandable. I was just trying to think of ways in which we could. I was trying to just keep my mind off of what I saw in there, honestly. Just thinking of different things we could do here.
Well, let me put your mind at ease, and non-ritually, I will cast Detect Magic.
Dun dun dun.
I mean, there's a lot of magic.
You're like on Vegas right now.
There's whole lots of magic pretty much everywhere you look.
Yeah, I figured it would, right. Well, William, I can certainly see there's lots of magic everywhere.
Probably a bit too much to pinpoint certain individuals and spells. Yes.
If I could only show you what I see.
Yeah. It was worth a shot. I appreciate the attempt.
But, yeah, we'll wait for them, and I think we all want to go to the big event after this.
No more mirrors, and I will be right back in a very lovely mood.
Well, let's wait for them. Would you like a smoke while we wait?
No, I've never been much of a fan of that myself.
Well, depending on the leaf, it could be magical.
True. I'm sure from the Feywild there are probably nice ones, but growing up here, my parents smoked, and it just never smelled too great to me. So just never had much of an inkling to do. So
Fair enough. Well, don't mind me then while I start.
and he'll just continue sitting there waiting, looking at the door to the Hall of Illusions for everyone to come out.
And I'll light my pipe.
One thing that I will also note that is not listed on the map itself are like places like this, these little things. There are little stalls of like carnival games, like rain toss and stuff like that. So that's additional you guys could do.
Oh, the ones where you like hit the frogs with the mallets and try to land them on the lily pads.
Yeah, stuff like that. So in this case, they show I guess, so it's It's what are those called? It's a rabbit with is it a unicorn
A
rabbit? There's a name.
mirage.
So games like that, ring toss,
That's
things.
fun.
There's ring toss. There's a poetry contest. Catch the dragon by the tail. There's goblin wrestling. Guess the number of feathers. Outstare the Cyclops. You can play those games to win fun prizes.
Are there
Well,
any that look like they are dexterity related? Perhaps the ring toss.
yes, in fact, the ring toss would be.
I would like to try that one.
And I would like to support my friend by guiding him.
All right, So, the ring toss. The Almirage is no mirage. Adorn its horn with 2 or 3 rings to win a prize.
Okay.
So
I will go, and not knowing what to expect aside from what he knows from the past, he will put a gold down on the table.
well, here look, you get a brief. I mean, you don't. There's not much of an explanation, but you can see what happens. So this Almirage teleports around the tabletop, so we're making it hard to score. You get 3
Okay.
rings, and it is 1 ticket to do so for 3 rings. It is just a straight dexterity check.
Okay.
And 2
And is it how much gold or money is it for a ticket?
we already had you buy the ticket, so you would have had 16 like everybody else. So
Oh, okay.
what is everybody at down to now? Is 13,
We
12?
12.
So you would
Okay.
you'd be at
So I'll be
12
down
right
to
now.
11.
Yeah. So just mark that somewhere. Track.
All right. I'm gonna use that in my Ethereum. There.
Yeah, and I'm gonna guide you so you get a D4.
Can you do a D4 on just a straight dex check, or does it have to be a skill check for guidance?
It's any ability check for guidance.
Okay. All right. So you said 3 times?
3 times.
All right.
Free
This will be the
check.
first.
You just have to succeed twice. That is
All right. I'm not gonna even bother using the guidance.
a second success. So you've already won a prize.
All right.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, that's
get it over 20. Get it over 20.
Well, I mean, it's not a fair game for a rogue, right? I mean, it's a high DC. It's a DC 17 but I mean, for a rogue, it's like, yeah, easy peasy. So you would need to roll a D8 to figure out what prize you have won.
Hopefully it's as good as my pixie name.
Sorry, go on.
No, you receive a wooden wand with 8 charges. As an action, you can expend one of the wand's charges to cast Prestidigitation.
Okay. So I have
So
a wand with 8 uses of prestidigitation.
correct. And once it is used, it can't be recharged. So it doesn't turn into a tulip like the one that Johan got, but it just becomes a piece of wood.
Okay.
It's kindling.
Indeed.
Can I compete in the staring contest with the Cyclops?
You can. So let's take a look
Do
at
robots
the
have to blink?
That's why I want to do it.
Yes. What do you do when the eye of the Cyclops falls upon you? You stare right back if you've got the stamina. Winning this game requires you to outstare an illusionary Cyclops. It is not a real Cyclops. Whoever blinks first loses. To win the game, it is a DC 14 Constitution check.
Okay. We'll give it a shot.
Also, mark off a ticket if you play this. So, and you fail.
Damn. But I don't have to blink.
It's less that you blink, it's more that the filament in your eyes like gives a momentary malfunction.
So the other games is
Wasn't there one like catch a pig or something?
Catch a dragon.
Catch a dragon by the tail. Goblin Wrestling. And
yeah.
is
So
there one
there's
more?
I'm trying to. So there's the guess the feather. So it's like you put the jar and like how many M&Ms are in the jar? It's that thing. So guess how many feathers are in. In this case, it is a group of cockatrices, and you have to guess how many feathers they have on them all. Goblin Wrestling is actual wrestling, a goblin. You have to pin an unarmed goblin, like, actual wrestling, not arm wrestling, actually wrestling a goblin, pin them to the ground. There is a gnome poetry contest. Best of 5 poetry. So this is for the bards of the party, which we don't have.
Always so tempting.
And catch the dragon by the tail is while blindfolded, standing in a booth, you must grab a tail of an elusive, giggling red fairy dragon that flutters around you. Those are the game.
That sounds like perception, so I'll suck at it. So I want to try.
I'd be game for the Dragon and the Guessing Feathers games.
Ragnar will do the poetry.
Yes, the other charisma class.
Mhm.
So we'll start with William wanted to do the
I think me and Arvid want to do dragon.
catch the dragon by the tail. Prizes, prizes, prizes. Catch the fairy dragon by the tail and win a piece of its hoard.
Well, I mean, I kind of want to do all of them just to prove I could be best.
I mean, you guys are free to do that. You just have to pay the tickets. And of course, you can always go back and buy more tickets if you run out. No limit
I
on
won't.
that.
I highly doubt I'm going to run out. I got a lot.
So,
Right.
Uh,
Sorry, go ahead.
now, whoever wants to go first, whether William or Arvid, it is a perception check for the.
I am horrible at this, so I will go get it out of the way. Yeah.
You do not catch. You. Oh wait. You have. Let me double check here. So you have 3 chances to catch it.
Okay. All right. So I missed the first, obviously. Missed the second, obviously, and I got a 14.
And that still misses.
Okay.
Arvid, you actually get to roll twice because you get to roll it for 2 prizes because you caught it on the first try.
Oh shit.
So a D8 twice. You win a glove puppet in the shape of a wizard. As an action, you can move the puppet's arms to cast the minor illusion cantrip. After 3 uses, the puppet disappears in a puff of smoke.
Such weird fucking shit.
I love these.
I know, this is great. That's why I was like, okay, yeah.
We should just stay here and farm magical items.
So I'll just type that out. So if you want to just copy and paste that on your character sheet somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I did a 2 and a 6.
Oh. You also received the prestidigitation wand.
8 charges.
Signe, with your 18, which was not your first attempt, but your second attempt, you do catch it. So you
Third.
can also. Oh, was it your third? Oh yes, I missed the 6. So yeah, but on your third attempt, you do catch it. So you also get to roll D8. I love the fact that we're not even playing D&D. We're just playing carnival games. That's great.
Oh, she also gets a wand.
Yes, you get the wand as well. They're running out of wands.
Before Ragna starts the poetry thing, she'll be like, wait, what about the big top?
I think it's supposed to start soon. Not yet. You have time.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably
Okay.
have. These games don't take too long. So the gnome poetry contest. Sound the chime. It's time to rhyme. You bring the poem. We'll bring the gnome. Haha, like gnome.
Yeah, Ragna's amused.
So in this,
She
it
has
is a
no
best
choice.
of 5. So you need to succeed on 3 performance checks. The charisma check.
I believe in you. Hand on shoulder.
You need to win 3 in 5 or fewer attempts.
Okay.
If you win 3 in a row, you get to roll twice on the. You can win yourself a wooden wand with prestidigitation, like everybody else.
Guidance.
Okay.
That is success. That's one success.
Okay.
That is 2. That is not a success. Not a
Nope.
success.
Oh,
And she'll do the guidance
And
for this last one.
nope, 17 is enough.
Ragnar!
17 is enough.
That's okay. She does it anyway.
all right.
So
Now
you get
roll
to
your
roll.
2 and get a wand.
Yes. Roll a d8. You get another Fey, or I don't think anybody. I don't think everybody got it. So you now need to roll a d100.
Ooh.
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 98.
Ooh.
You get a Feywild trinket, which happens to be a tiny dream catcher.
She loves it. She giggles as she pokes it and it kind of sways.
Which is also somewhat apropos considering where your sister is. You got
Yep.
yourself a nice little dream catcher. So
And she'll run it to Signa and be like, look, I can give this to Rhea.
Bet you can.
I think that's the best one to roll. And if you roll a 1, then you roll a d100 on the Feywild trinket table. So
Mm-hmm.
any
Hey.
other games that you would like to play before you head over to the big top?
Want to hear my stinky Brian's?
Oh, I think Arvid, you wanted to, or did you want to guess the feathers? I think you said that, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah. So you get 3 tries. So birds of a feather. How about feathers of a bird? Step right up and guess how many feathers festoon this fiendish fowl. And you get 3 tries to guess the number of feathers on a group of caged cockatrices. Which are actually terrifying creatures that don't really have that many feathers on them. If you look at this, that should actually be. You could. It feels like you could probably guess just
Jeez.
looking at it, right? You wouldn't even have to guess. You could like actually count.
Such a lovely image.
Okay, so let's see. It's a DC. No, sorry. These are intelligence checks.
Figured.
And how many guesses do you get?
You get 3.
I also wanted to do the poetry thing. And 17, 18, and 19.
Yep, those are all good.
And 8 for a D8.
You get the glove puppet as well
Yeah.
for minor illusion. So, Arvid, it would be intelligence checks. 3 intelligence checks.
I'll do this one as well once he's done.
Totally going in too.
I can D4 it, so I will.
Would be a success? No, I take that back. It's a success. 4. Is that? Nor is that.
Best I can get that is a 15, so that's gonna do it.
Nope. It's a DC 18 intelligence check. So we need the smarties to do this.
I'll give it a shot.
We have 1 smarty.
I think isn't William the smartest?
Yes.
I got
The
22.
the rogue is the smartest. Yes, so you only need one success, 3 chances, 1 success. So, or it would be you would roll twice if you got it on the first try. You got it on the second, so it's another D8. So
3.
far, it's a new one. You also get a pack of pixie dust. Same thing. that
The
Goblin does.
flying.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, second try. The smart barbarian. Another D8.
Signe just watched William do it and came up like 5 minutes later and said the same number.
Yeah, he just walked by and was like, yeah, it's 37.
Pixie dust.
Pixie dust. So, does anybody want to play any other games? The only thing that you have not done is Goblin Wrestling, which the
Oh,
Barbarian.
fuck
I
yeah.
was gonna say the Barbarian would probably crush that Goblin because it is an athletics check.
I'm gonna say Callum will be on standby for that, but he doesn't want to wrestle the goblin.
So you have to strong folks test your mettle in a Goblin wrestle. You have to pin one goblin while wrestling two of them.
Ooh.
And it is a contested strength roll against goblins, which
So
they have
almost anyone can do that.
exactly. So
So Signe is going in to do it.
Sam, no one can hear you. Still can't hear you. She's shouting in the other room.
they work together. The goblins can work together, so they would get that. They give themselves they get advantage on the roll. Is what it boils down to.
While we resolve this, let Sam borrow my headset.
How about this?
There you go.
So, yeah, it's just it's an athletics roll.
Well, while Signe is going in, William is going to do his best to try to goad Ragna into going in as well.
Ragna, join me. We will share the glory.
Ragnar will just start laughing and be like, okay, I'm coming.
Tag
Make sure that you're-
team.
Also,
He pats William before heading off.
make sure you're marking your tickets off as well.
Oh, I am.
But you don't get to tag team. It's one person versus two goblins, not two versus two. So just do an athletics check versus a. Oh, it did it for me.
Tell you what,
against
me
against
and
a 14.
Ragna versus 5 goblins.
Yeah, that's not how they're not going to do that. So you got to beat a 14. So you beat the goblins. Signe doesn't. Well, I'll do. They would be separate. So Signe, yeah. So you both win.
God, that was bad.
You know what? Shits and giggles, I'll do it myself. And I will juice.
0.
Because
It's beat an 8 because I have advantage, but
gonna give myself advantage on strength checks. Because I kind of like cheating, apparently.
I mean, just beat an 8.
Well, I'm also going to guide myself, but yeah. So, 17.
Does William want to attempt?
Oh no.
Okay.
William, get your ass in here.
So Signe, Ragna, and Arvid, go ahead and roll a d8.
Yay.
So proud of you, Ragna. Look how strong you grown up to be.
Ragnar cheers and goes for a high five.
Oh, absolutely.
So Signe, you get a replica unicorn horn filled with candy.
Yeah.
Arvid, you get another glove puppet.
God damn.
So you now have 6 minor illusion cantrips.
You could dual wield minor illusions.
And 7 is a new one. So Ragna, you get a cuddly toy spider. And as an action, you can stroke the spider to gain the benefit of spider climb that lasts for 1 hour. Once
that's
it's
so
used, it turns into
cool.
a real spider and crawls away.
That's also pretty dope, actually. You can.
You said-
Oh man.
What?
Hey, when you use it, I want the spider.
Okay, but I'm gonna name him Jeremy after the pixie.
You sure you want to name him?
Why not?
Because well, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a pretty big looking spider. I was gonna use it against my soldiers when they pit spiders against each other for fighting.
You're not allowed to do that.
So there's still 2 prizes that you didn't win. Is anybody playing any other games, or can I just tell you what you didn't win?
I mean, if there's any other games I haven't played, I totally want to play them.
You haven't done the ring toss.
Oh yeah, I'll totally go back and do the ring toss.
And you haven't outstared the Cyclops either. Ring toss is a DC 17 Dex check. You get 3 tries. And you get to roll twice because you got 2 of them.
Yeah, first one was just a warm up.
So 2d8.
1 and a 5.
You get another unicorn horn filled with candy for your 5, but you roll D100 for your 1.
And Matt, just a heads up, I only rolled once when I got twice.
Oh, yeah, roll again.
I think you got 3, didn't you?
Well, I think you only get 2 though.
Yeah, you do.
I got a 100.
So, Signe, you get a music box that plays a sprightly tune you remember from your childhood.
Oh, that's so sweet.
William, you get a very useful item. You get a rucksack in which 1 potato magically appears each day at dawn.
All right.
All right, that's pretty dope.
Dig
I
it.
gotta admit. As a person, I am deeply envious of this magical item.
So, I guess at some point you would probably have to just start tossing out potatoes that you didn't eat because they just keep coming.
That
So
actually seems incredibly useful.
at this point, if you'd like to come back and play those games, you're free to, but you probably need to head to the big top at this point if you'd like
Yep.
to go.
I thought to stare down someone.
You have to come back and do that.
Running to
Fair
the big
enough.
top.
So you head towards the big top. This is the big top extravaganza that you have been hearing about since you entered. And as you get closer, you can see that the roof of the tent reaches towards the night sky in 3 swooping peaks, topped with spinning gold stars. There are painted wooden panels on the tent walls that have, similar to the Hall of Illusion. There's they move, so the tent walls have this color in motion, displaying sort of like vibrant circus performances. So it's almost like a trailer of like, oh, here's the kind of things that you see. And you can see as you're getting closer, you can already hear that there's music and laughter that's coming out of the canvas door. Now, there is no fee, so you do not have to spend a ticket to go into the big top. Everybody is invited to join. Um, and this is all just performances. So there's no games to play or anything like that. You're just here to enjoy the performances. Um,
As we're making our way there, are there any like little food or drink booths on the way that I could like just grab an ale and something to eat from?
Yep.
Okay, I will just do that as quickly as possible to keep going. And as I like go to walk off, I'll ask if anyone else wants any.
Oh, yes, please.
I absolutely wouldn't mind that.
Well, if you can find me a dandelion wine, that would be nice.
I will ask. Just go in, and I will find you all whenever I have everything, and I'll just wait at the booth.
Do you need any help bringing things in?
Yeah,
Shouldn't
let
be
me.
too bad.
I don't mind. I'll stay. I'll help.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll just wait. Go up. I'll try to get something for everyone. I don't know if they would have dandelion wine, but I will ask.
sure, of
And
course they do.
okay. Oh, then I will. Am I paying in tickets or am I paying in gold?
It's probably you could probably just pay in silver pieces.
Okay. Well, uh, I will just. If we're getting it, there's how many of us? 6. So
Hmm.
something to eat and drink for everyone. I'll put 2 gold pieces down and just look at the guy and say, "Is that enough? I'm in a bit of a rush."
And oh yeah, absolutely. Just kind of slides it off the countertop.
And I will hand half of it over to Caleb or Callum, and we will go and look for the rest of the group inside.
Mm.
So, as you all enter, um, you can see that there's still people that are shuffling in, and there's some music that's playing to kind of keep the spirits up, and everybody's talking and laughing. And eventually, the lights start to dim, everybody kind of gets quiet. And then a second later, there's a spotlight that illuminates a lithe elven figure sitting in a silver hoop suspended above the center ring by silk ropes. You can see that this elf is wearing a dazzling suit of diamond pane mirrors, and unlike yourselves, a pair of butterfly wings. He has a sort of long scepter in his hand that is topped with a spinning vane, like a weather vane type thing. And he gestures out to everybody and says, "Welcome, one and all, to this evening's extravaganza. I am Mr. Light. Prepare to be delighted." And the spotlight fades off of him and then enters to the center ring, and Mr. Light appears later on as the ringmaster. And over the course of about an hour, um, there are various things that happen. So you have Burly the bugbear that you had heard about earlier performs feats of strength. Palasha the mermaid that you also heard about serenades the audience with a beautiful song. And someone you saw earlier, Candlefoot, the mime, plays silent games with the audience members, mostly with the children. Kind of goes out there, um, plays little games with them. There are fairy dragons that have bright streamers tied to their tails, perform acts of synchronized flying, while acrobats are doing their thing. You've got clowns running around. You've got fire breathers. Um, and near the end of the hour, Mr. Light asks everyone if there's the entire audience, if there's anyone who would like to perform their own act for everyone. And if you choose to, you can. If you have a skill you think would be interesting to perform for everyone in the crowd, you can perform a performance check.
Uh,
So, I guess here's the thing. Uh, if I were to summon an animal, could I do an animal handling check instead of a performance check?
How are you summoning? Are you summoning your steed?
Yeah. Well, that was my thought, but I don't know how well that would go.
It still would be performance because I mean I don't even know that your steed is considered an animal.
Yeah, your steed's a celestial fire fiend.
Yeah. Which
That
one of
just means
you?
it's intelligent.
Which one of you would like to take part in a quick act?
And it would be a
Okay.
group check. If you guys want to work together, you can do so. So it would be a group check.
Yeah, I'll help.
I mean, I'll support you, whatever way I can.
So no matter what, it would be a performance, no matter what we did.
Correct. It is a
Okay, because I was
performance
gonna
check.
say I want to do like the whole, sleight of hand magic thing, but if I can't do sleight of hand, I am not performing.
What about if I send you from one place to another magically?
I mean, if you need help for your act, yeah, sure. I'm just not gonna do what I was thinking.
Ragna is definitely in.
I think I agree with William on this one. If any of you need help with yours, I don't mind being an extra hand, but uh, I know my skills and entertainment is not particularly one of them.
Yeah, I'm not really good at entertaining.
Well, then I say, Arvid, Ragna, and Johan, if you want to go, we will all gladly cheer for you. But it seems like we're sitting this one out.
I will participate.
For
I
those of
mean,
you that are not participating, before we do that, just go ahead and make a general perception check. Kind of look around the big top and see what
You know,
you see.
that I am much better at.
Yeah, I am awful.
I'm going to participate insofar as I'm going to do my best to help.
Callum looking around, just kind of perusing, considering you the things that you had, the rumors and stuff. So you recognized again two of the people that you'd heard about. Well, three technically. I mean, you heard about
Hmm.
the mime losing his voice and the burly man. Well, burly
Bugbear.
the bugbear, the strong man, Candlefoot and Palasha the mermaid. But looking around, the only thing that kind of you notice that is not just the tent and the ring and everything. You spot that there appears to be sort of a dressing room, like a backstage area, and there appear to be a couple of guards standing, witchlight hands, as it were, carnies, um,
Hmm.
are standing guard by the dressing room. The acts are going in and out,
Okay.
but that's really all that you sort of perceive outside of essentially what you're supposed to be focusing on.
Yeah. And I mean, that seems pretty normal. He'll continue to just hang out and support people as needed, but there's not a lot he can really do.
I will say too, with the 23, the guards appear to be having what you would m- assume is probably an argument, not like violent, angry sort of argument, but they appear to be somewhat distracted with each other, or no, not doing a great job guarding because they're arguing with each other. You're not close enough to tell what, but they appear to be
Hmm.
sort of chatting at each other in a elevated way. Um, but yeah, with a 23, that's what you would get. Everybody else, if you'd like to go ahead and do your performance roll, you can just do one roll with advantage since you're working together.
Okay, no. Who has the better performance?
I would
have a 0.
I was gonna say I would assume Ragna.
Yes.
I would
I'm gonna
assume
have
Ragna too.
Yes, because I have a 2.
because that's a charisma based thing. So
So I will guide you on the roll, and I'll let everyone know what the stupid act is.
Okay.
bam. So whatever it is that you're doing, the crowd absolutely loves. And in fact, not that it's necessary because we are only one step away, because it was a group deal, the mood of the carnival would go up 3 steps, but you have already reached the maximum because it was
Yay.
a spot left. So
Well, but to give you a brief description of what Arvid would be doing to Arachna.
absolutely.
So the idea would be is I shall make this wonderful woman disappear before your very eyes, and he'll take a huge inhale of his pipe, surround her in smoke enough to completely cover her, say the magic words. 1 second.
I'm waiting for you to say the magic words and to Misty step yourself away and have her still be there afterwards.
Once the magic words are said, he will waft away the smoke, and she will have disappeared back to her seat, whilst the light remains where the smoke was.
And the crowd will go wild, cheering and yelling. Where did that spell come from, by the way?
That's Strixhaven.
Nice. Because I didn't recognize it, so I figured it was one of the, just, one of the new things. But
So I'll post it public as well. I just wanted to do it privately for a second.
Oh,
No,
is it yeah, the warp spell that looks
Yeah.
really cool.
vortex warp.
And it's verbal and somatic, so I don't need components to do it.
Even better.
Yeah, Vortex Warp looks fantastic. I'm very excited to try it the next time I play a caster that gets it.
So, after your performance, everybody's cheering, and then that's sort of the end of the big top extravaganza for now. Um, so people start filing out, going back out to the rest of the carnival. But as you guys are sort of getting back together, Burley, the bugbear, sort of you can see that he's wearing sort of dungarees. He's got his fairy wings on, and he has a helmet that is made of a jack-o'-lantern. Let me see if I have the handout for him. Here we go. So here is Burley.
Love it.
Oh, I like Burley.
Yep, me too.
So let me sort these because it's not set up.
Well, I hope we don't get into combat this session. I have 2 spell slots left.
Um,
I have not been conserving my magic.
Mike wasn't here when I mentioned this, and I did discuss the fact that this this module is designed to be to it's possible, I guess, to complete this module without ever fighting anybody.
Oh yeah, that's my plan. It's just a case of if we
Let
do
me
get
go-
into combat, I am purposely just wasting magic.
You're a druid, turn into something.
Let me go punch something.
Yes. But again, I mean, I'm not saying that because that's the way that you should do it. I'm just saying that I just think it's great because it doesn't happen that Wizards of the Coast writes them that way very often. Most of the time, combat is forced, so it's cool that you don't have to do it. Anyway, Burley, the bugbear, walks up to all of you, wearing those dungarees and the feathers and the helmet made of a jack-o'-lantern, and he just says, "Follow me. Management wants to see you." And he waves his hand.
Callum chuckles a little, but shrugs and just follows him.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
he,
Before he turns around, William's gonna, all of us or just the performers?
all of you.
All right.
Oh.
Ragna laughs at William's nervousness. Come on, let's just go.
Yes, come on, my dazzling assistant.
She does a twirl.
And you can also like I think about it too, like you could like move your arms, like so your shoulders, like so with your shoulder blades move, and I imagine when you do that, your wings probably flap as well, which would be a nice little flourish. And he leads you sort of to the back side of the tent, and you can see that he waves his hand, which creates the opening of this wall of thorns that surrounds the staff wagons that you can see on the map here.
Mhm.
And so I assume you were all following. Are you all following
Yep.
him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I mean, I'm bad at this, but I still want to try anyway. Can I insight to see if he's seems angry?
Yeah.
I mean, I could insight, I just don't care.
Same.
He seems like a bugbear, which is
Yeah. Okay.
so like he just kind of rough pop around the edges maybe.
All right.
But he doesn't
William
say
is just
much.
gonna. He is going to palm one of his daggers. Just feeling a bit uneasy.
So yeah, he leads you to this circle of wagons, and leaning against a particularly ostentatious wagon is an aging clown with a grin, but the grin, of course, is actually just painted on his face. And you can see that he is puffing on a pipe and glares at you um, as the bugbear uh, goes over and opens the door and ushers you inside.
I'll just tip my pipe at him.
Mr. Witch, I take it?
And Burley, the bugbear, goes, "That's Thaco."
Ah, my mistake.
Yeah, Thaco. You would have probably recognized it because Mr. Witch, or Mr. Light rather, is the clown you saw in the
Wait. Okay,
the big
I'm
top.
sorry.
The big top.
Yes,
That's
that is.
that's his actual
Yes.
name. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that is.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess nobody understands him well.
So here is what you see. Here's Thaco. He's smoking a bubble pipe. You haven't met this guy before, so
Oh, that's great.
Thaco the clown. But yeah, you're ushered inside the wagon. So it's kind of y'all kind of have to go single file because you're going into like this wagon, and it is unsurprisingly to those of you that would be familiar with magic, it's larger on the inside than it looks like it would be on the outside, but you still have to basically go single file through the door. Um, and once you're inside the wagon, you do see a flamboyant elf grinning from ear to ear as he welcomes you into the wagon with a theatrical bow, which is the man you recognize as Mr. Light, who says, "Please come in. It's a delight to meet you all. I am Mr. Light, and this is my associate, Mr. Witch." And he sort of gestures to behind him, and there is a stocky-looking elf sitting up on like one of like the sort of like a bunk bed up against the wall, and Mr. Witch nods to you, and he sort of tips his top hat at you, but does not say anything.
The pleasure is ours.
Thank you.
What can we help with?
So Mr. Light sort of gestures towards his scepter, the one that you saw earlier that has the vein on the top, and explains that it picks up the nuances of the emotions of the carnival. And he says, "I believe I have you all to thank for having the carnival in such a great mood this evening."
Well, I'm not sure I'd go that far. We just participated. Surely it's your own work, simply paying off.
We're having a lot of fun.
Well, that is exactly what we like to hear. But Mr. Witch and I are just eager to learn about why you've decided to visit the carnival on this evening and what motivations you might have. It's not often that we have people such as yourselves join us. Normally, people come with children. And not often you see a party of your size coming along to enjoy our festivities.
Well, my sister and I came through last time you were here, so it was a joy to come again, but this time we're on business.
That's interesting. And if you don't mind my asking, what would that business be?
We want to break into the Feywild.
And his
I
eyes
don't-
sort of go wide.
I don't think break in is the right term to use here.
Yeah,
Why
probably
not? It
switch
seems
to
appropriate.
Sylvan
Visit,
for a second.
I think, is more appropriate.
Why? Don't you have to like smash through a magic barrier and break in, and then you're like there, and then you have to smash through the other side to get back out?
I mean, breaking in sounds like the Feywild is some manner, more like a border crossing, really.
This
Yes,
is your
to give
guys'
more
shtick.
to give more detail, we are trying to get there to see if we can get help for myself and Signe's sister. We heard that we can get help from Prismir.
Hmm. And you can see that Mr. Light's demeanor has changed a bit. He's looking much more serious than he did just a few moments ago.
Yeah, our
Mm.
kid sister's laid out in a bad way, and we gotta go to Prismir to go get something to help her. Not sure what, but something.
We heard you would be able to help us, and Well, we did come to the carnival to ask for aid, but also to relax a bit. It's been a very trying time.
Well, that and it'd be nice to visit the home realm.
Yeah, this guy's from here, there too. So
And he's kind of gotten a little bit quiet. Well,
You seem.
that's
Oh, go ahead.
listen, talking's not my strong suit. If one of you guys wants to take over, since I seem to have foot and mouth syndrome.
You do seem a bit perturbed by this news, Mr. Light. Is there a particular reason for that?
well, it's not general knowledge that there would be any pathways to the Feywild from here, so it is quite curious how you would have come across this information.
We were referred through several individuals who ultimately culminated in a statement that there was a way from this carnival to the Feywild. Although the route through which we acquired that information is quite winding.
Well, perhaps we might be able to come to some understanding, but I believe that Mr. Witch and I will need to have a discussion first. It looks back to Mr. Witch, and Mr. Witch pulls out a very unique looking watch. Um, quite intricate. And he looks at it for a moment and nods to Burley, who's sort of standing off to the side. And Burley nods back and says, "All right, time to go."
Oh, okay. I'll have your talk and we hope to hear from you. Thank you very much again for having the circus. Or
Yes,
carnival.
and please
Oh,
continue to enjoy the festivities, and also, um, and then he like yells out to Thaco. He's like, "Give them their animals," and he sort of like waves his hand in a kind of like a not a really dismissive way, but sort of like in a way talking down to Thaco.
oh, I'm sorry. There is one thing before we leave. Do you know a Mr. Madrick Roslov?
Uh, he raises an eyebrow a little bit and goes, "Um, the name doesn't seem particularly familiar, though we do meet quite a few people, as you can imagine."
Oh, that's all right. He had asked us to. He was one of the people who helped us get this information. Had asked us to look for someone, but if you don't know him, I wouldn't want to bother you if we're on our way out.
Well, considering he was the person that gave you this information, I would certainly like to meet him. And then he sort of gestures for you all to leave. And he kind of said that through his teeth,
Mm-hmm.
including. And as you exit out, um, Thaco looks at all of you kind of annoyed. He's like, "All right, what kind of animals do you want?" And you can see that he's making balloon animals.
Oh, um, what can you make? I'd be happy to see your best work.
And he just sighs and he like gives you a dog very quickly. But I mean, these are very nice. I mean, because again, these are not just like your twisted up sort
I
of
expected him to
balloons.
give me a snake.
Nah, these are magically sort of like created balloon animals, and they have they're tied with a ribbon, and you don't have a string; they just float next to you. So he gives you a dog because you didn't ask for anything, and he's like, "All right," and he sort of looks at everybody like, "What do you want?"
A rabbit, please.
So you all can decide if you'd like to keep this, and whatever you'd like, he will make you whatever animal you would like.
I will have a ferret.
Rascal.
Yes.
Oh man, what's the most challenging animal I can ask this guy to make right now?
Can I have a boar, please?
It only takes him a couple seconds, and then you have a boar.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Could I get a cockatrice?
Yep. And he makes, yeah, so he makes whatever you like, and then um, after you, so Burley uh, moves you all back through the big top and then outside, and then he kind of like motions for you all to come to the side a little bit away from the thoroughfare, and he takes off his jack-o'-lantern helmet, and you can see immediately that he has a very worried look on his face. Um, and he says, "Listen, bad things have been happening at the carnival for a while. People and things have gone missing, and my bosses know more than they're telling, but their hands are tied somehow. And you're the first people I've met who might be able to set things right. And Witch and Light are good guys, but you you might need a little bit of leverage to make them talk a little bit."
Oh my god, do I finally get to hit something? Tell me. Point me in a direction.
What kind of troubles exactly, friend?
Well, like I said, people and things have gone missing. And,
Does this have to do with the rumor of someone disguising themselves?
it's possible, and to get them to talk, you might need to do some. And he looks at Signy like, "Yeah, you don't need to hurt anybody, but you might want to get some leverage, like I said." And so there's, when he looks at you, Williams, like people that are a little,
Stealthier. Got it.
maybe you could, well, you saw Light's vein, his staff with the vein on it, and you probably saw Mr. Witch in his watch, and maybe if you had acquired those things from them, they would be willing to spill the beans to get them back. And again, I don't want you to steal anything from them, at least permanently, because you'd give it back to them. Because again, they're good guys, and also maybe
You
you
just
could.
want us to pull a trick to prove ourselves and then be like, hey, do us this favor, you'll do us a favor.
I
Gotcha.
see him more as he's talking about blackmail them into letting us do what we need to.
Well, to be fair, he's actually just talking about how Fae do trades.
Yeah,
And
that's what I just said.
also, if you didn't want to do that, you could also maybe talk to Candlefoot or Palasha. They're good eggs. They might help you, but stay away from Thaco. He's not trustworthy.
Hey,
Oh.
I really appreciate you helping us like this, man.
Well, I think that they would like to help you more than they're currently being able to. I should probably go.
See you around?
Quick question, before you do. Uh, this trouble that you've been saying happened, is there any group of people? Is it mainly happening to workers or is it guests? And is there a general location where it's happening?
Uh, The Hall of Illusion seems to be where things are going missing, and it's everybody.
William's face just drops.
All right. Well, there's our lead.
Also, he would give you a little more information. So uh, talking about the so essentially his staff is called the WitchLight Vein. That's what Mr. Light's staff is called. And he says the Witchlight Monarch, which will be happening later. His the Witchlight Vein is what uh decides who the monarch is going to be, and Mr. Light doesn't have any control over that. But it's usually the guest that's contributed the most to the happiness of the carnival, and so taking that might, again, it obviously would be a good leverage.
It's
Mr. Witch,
certainly necessary for their continued celebrations, yes.
um, then there's the watch that you saw Mr. Witch have. It's got magical properties related to the carnival, but it is attached to his waistcoat by a chain. So if you wanted to take that, you'd have to break or unfasten it somehow, and might be tricky. Also, still tricky to take the Witchlight Vein from Mr. Light because he always carries it around.
And you're certain, you feel at least, that they can't be convinced otherwise? That we need this type of leverage?
I probably. I just don't want them to know that I was involved in any of this. It might cost me my job, might cost me my home. Uh, I just want to make sure that I don't want them to be hurt or anything like that. And again, they may have flaws, but without them, the whole carnival would fall apart.
And perhaps it would be time for you to get along and not let them believe you were spending too much time with us. But thank you for the information. We will put it to use.
He sort of nods, sort of in a he thinks that he's walking away nonchalantly, but he does that thing where people like whistle when they're like, oh,
Hmm. William will just look at everyone and just say, I am not going back into the Hall of Illusions. So I would much rather spend my time trying to get my hands on those objects.
Hey, Will, since you weren't really a fan of the illusions, you want to just kind of observe from the bubble pop pot?
Uh, I don't. It doesn't seem like we have much time until this crowning of the monarch happens. So
so you have
I
quite a bit of
don't.
time.
Oh, do we? Okay.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. So like that's
Okay.
why like they suggested to go back and continue playing games if you chose, because there are games you haven't played. So
All right. William was gonna kind of just say, "Well, I might just sneak around a bit, look around in the staff area, perhaps from the outside, not from going through the big top itself, but just look for ways that I might be able to sneak in."
I did notice from the big top that some of the guards there were arguing during the show. I wonder if it was about this matter.
Hmm. Matt, are there any of the clowns or mimes or anything that are human?
I don't think that there are any humans. These would all be
Okay.
fae.
So, like, would there be elves, or would it be mostly like the other creatures, not really humanoid?
The mo the humanoids would be elves, and also you weren't here for this. Mr. Witch and Mr. Light are actually um, Shadowfell elves. They are not fae elves.
Okay.
So also I will show you. There is Mr. Witch, and 20 wants to there.
Okay.
And as I thought, you can see that Mr. Light's weather vane is in the mood corner of the map.
Hmm.
And you can see by their gray complexion that they are Shadar Kai. They are Shadowfell elves. And there's a story behind that. that you may or may not discover.
Well, I'll head over to the Hall of Illusions and see what I can find out.
Um, I hope none of you take much offense in this. And he kind of like, especially like when he's looking through everyone, he like pauses on Ragnar for a second, and he goes, "None of you are really the quietest or sneakiest of individuals, so I may need to look around a little bit for by myself for a little while."
Ragna just laughs and says, "Just be careful."
If you do need help, let me know. But my skills may be better spent with uh, at the Hall of Illusions.
Yeah, let's say when Callum's not spell drunk, he's actually pretty quiet.
Well, how about we will give it, let's say, an hour. If we do not, within the hour, we will all meet back at the entrance to the big top.
That
Maybe to
sounds
the
like a plan.
Calliope. Maybe to the Calliope to see what that is.
Oh,
The
yeah, that would work.
Calliope.
Yeah.
It's a very large music box. They're quite interesting.
Oh,
Well, maybe
that sounds cool.
Ragnar and Signe could check out the Mystery Mine for an hour?
What do you say?
Maybe
I
even
wouldn't mind
Johan?
doing that. Let's
Are
go.
you going to handle the Hall of Illusions yourself? Would you like assistance?
Well, if someone wishes to assist, then fine, but I reckon some of us should continue the having fun.
I'd be lying if I said the Hall of Illusions wasn't at least a bit fascinating to me. So I'll
It was
certainly help
very
there for
amusing.
now.
Okay, then I shall join them at the Mystery Mine.
Well, I
I
mean, I guess my biggest question is if, this place is coded in illusion magic, is there any way we can dispel the illusion? See through it? Counteract it?
Mm,
Not with the magic I've got, but I'm very good at seeing things that others can't.
All I know is if I can hit it and my fist goes through it, it means it's not really there.
Yeah, let's probably hold off on the whole hitting things.
Listen, this is my only
mm.
real skill, okay? I'm just working with what I got.
Oh, nonsense. I'm sure you've got plenty of skills.
Not really. Thanks for the vote of confidence, though.
Well, why don't you be at the light and go with your sister and draw attention to yourselves?
Yeah, I can do that.
Let's go have fun.
Hey, let's go be loud and obnoxious.
Fun.
Would you, Miss Giggly? And then go
All
to,
right.
tickle her. Tickle her
Yeah,
around her
she would
neck.
giggle again and squeal.
I shall join them on their endeavors.
All right. So you guys head over to the Mystery Mine, and we will take a quick break right there. I'll go get a drink. We will come back in a few minutes.
Sounds
Sounds
good.
good.
Yep.
Don't you know you never split the party?
Back.
Yup.
Yep.
Is everybody back?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm staring at Sam in the room with me instead of in the room with her computer. So
I'm here. I was just contemplating things.
well, yeah, you're out there now.
Fight me, Shane. But don't actually. You're sleepy.
So, the Mystery Mine. Propelled by magic, mine carts, laden with fairgoers, trundle into an opening carved like a dragon's mouth. This thing.
Can I say that trundle is just one of the best words?
It is a good word.
It is a 10-point word.
The carts reappear moments later on the far side of the attraction, with the passengers expressing a mixture of bewilderment, fear, and excitement. Near the entrance is a male dwarf dressed in what appear to be wizard robes, and he's shouting, "Unlock the mysteries of your mind in the Mystery Mine." Big bushy eyebrows, and wears a pointy hat and holds a large clockwork contraption shaped like a giant eye. It costs 1 ticket to ride, and he is beckoning everyone to look into the all-seeing eye of this clockwork
Yeah,
contraption.
I'll do it.
Man, we had to miss the roller coaster.
Regna giggles and gets very excited.
I'm not sure it's that deep, Ragnar.
Oh, I think it'll be lots of fun.
I'm not saying it won't be fun. He's just saying it might unlock the mysteries of our mind. I'm not sure it's going to be that deep. I don't know. Have you seen those fortune tellers on the street?
Oh, I think they're very amusing.
Oh, they're amusing. They're a lot of fun, but they're like never right. That's what I'm saying.
Is Ryan back? I think he was supposed to be with you.
He said he was. I also thought I heard him say that he was back. So
He could be muted on his mic, but for now, Signe and Ragna, when you look into the all-seeing eye, you see a creature that you fear. Whatever that may be is up to you, but that is what you see.
Ah, shit. It's Mom's ghost.
Regna just, her eyes widen and she kind of glances back at Signe and then lets out a little giggle.
So each minecart that you can get into holds up to 8 medium-sized creatures, so you all can fit in easily. And as you pass through the dragon's mouth, the ride plunges into an illusion-filled demi-plane of undulating hills, also a good word, undulating, um, corkscrewing
Yep.
trees, and prismatic skies. And as the cart hurtles along the track, illusionary forms of your worst fears launch themselves at the minecart.
Oh man, that gets existential real fast. I'm glad I didn't go on it.
Yeah, and so the number of illusionary forms is equal to the number of riders in the cart, which in this case would be 3. Um, and each of you would be confronted only once by your worst fear. And in doing so, you would need to make a wisdom saving throw as this illusion.
Wisdom
Ragna, it's
save.
okay to hug me.
Ragna hugs.
Ragnar's gonna be fine. Ragnar's a paladin.
Ragna's surprisingly not that wise.
Yeah, but you're also proficient in wisdom saves.
That is true.
I guess we're too low a level for you to also add your charisma modifier to them, but still.
Yep.
So you both actually succeed. It's a DC 12, in fact.
Seriously?
Indeed. And as such, you probably should have done this first because until the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch, you both have advantage on charisma based ability checks for the rest of the carnival.
We should have
At
done
least,
this
Ooh.
first.
yes. At least until the Witchlight Monarch is crowned.
Sorry, I
That's
just
the whole
got
run.
back. What happened?
You had the opportunity to look into the all-seeing eye in the mystery mine, which would show you your biggest fear. You traveled around the mine carts,
Oh,
and you need to make a wisdom saving.
okay. Hold on.
We already know it's DC 12 too.
So you pass. So you also
Just
now have
barely.
until the end of until the Witchlight Monarch is crowned, you have advantage on all charisma skill checks.
Okay.
Also,
I like that distinction because it seems like there's going to be a fight after the crowning.
um, well, that's the end of the
Maybe.
carnival. It's the end of the carnival, so
Alright.
that's why. And additionally, since you all succeeded, you, especially Ragna, because of her gift that she was given, you all chuckle and laugh at the illusion as it rushes by you harmlessly.
Yeah.
And that is really all that there is.
I would like to make it very clear that it's definitely a false laugh. It's a very insecure laugh.
And honestly, a failure would have been much more traumatic. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but you should all be glad that you succeeded because failing would have been bad.
Don't worry, I'm happy.
So that is the mystery mine.
Okay, where do we go next?
And also,
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice.
well, I was gonna say for those of you that were not that were just kind of like hanging around, you could, if you wanted to, like William and Callum. I mean, like you can uh, be stealthy. You can kind of, if you want to, like try to do some investigation and more back to the staff area or the big top, you can do so, or any other place for that matter.
Yeah, I just want to look around the staff area to see if I could find a way in that is unnoticeable.
Callum's not trying to sneak around the Hall of Illusions, but he's definitely eyes out there for any funny business going on.
I think Avid would probably try and sneak around a little bit, but
Yeah. You can then do investigation checks if you'd like.
Ooh.
Yeah, make these. Ooh, that's a good roll. I'll make mine at advantage because that's racial. Holy shit.
You get 2 sets of doubles in a row.
Yeah, plus Mike's doubles and your doubles.
Something is not well with this roller right now.
That's a lot of doubles.
I'm just gonna roll something else to see if it doubles. Thank God.
That's real weird.
4 sets of doubles in a row.
With a 25 investigation, you do when you're going back towards the staff area, you see that tangled wall of thorns that surrounds the wagons, and you can kind of see the tops of the wagons. You can see some lanterns, but the caravan, it's like the majority of the caravan is not visible through the thicket. Looking at it, you wager you could get through the thicket, but it would hurt. So you really can't. You can listen, and you can hear a few voices, but nothing that you can really make out. Um, you do recognize Burley talking. It sounds like he's talking to what you would assume is the mermaid, but you can't really make out what they're saying. Um, but yeah, there's no you determine you could push your way through this thicket, but it would hurt because there are some big old thorns on them.
Hmm.
And Arvid, what were you trying to investigate? Where were you?
The Hall of Illusions.
Where we heard that the disappearances were happening.
Um, the mirrors do appear to be magical, not surprising considering what you saw. You do wager that there's probably more to the mirrors that just appeared to be part of the maze. Essentially, you think that there might be more to them than meets the eye.
Is it possible with my walking stick to tap each of the mirrors?
Yep, they sound like glass mirrors when you hit them.
Well, I was saying it's like one was like a push through one.
I was gonna say Callum will do the same thing, but he'll poke them with his actual fingers, like touch them in kind of innocuous places to see. Oh, yep. What?
They all seem pretty solid. You don't get any, and they all basically sound the same. Like you don't like doesn't sound like one of them's hollow behind it or anything like that. And you would know even with the Arcana and just being from the Feywild, you know that if there is a pathway, it's not. I mean, it's going to be magical. You're going to open up a mirror and walk to the Feywild, or so. But you do think that there's something else happening that you just can't see at the moment.
Is the Hall of Illusions like an actual just like there is one path here, or is it like splitting off?
Go in different directions. They would probably all eventually meet, because the idea being that you just get confused about which way to turn.
Mm-hmm.
But there really is generally only one path eventually. Keep like if you just keep turning right, you'll eventually get back to the right spot.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
You would determine that there's no magic behind the maze essentially. So it's not like magically making you get lost in there. It's just a regular hall of mirrors in a sense.
If that's the case, I'll probably head out and try talking to the clown. Or should I say the mime?
I mean, that he can't talk, but yeah.
Yeah.
You can mime with him.
Sounds like a fun time.
Yes.
So, for everybody else, was there any other place that you to go after the mystery?
Regna will lead everybody to Dragonfly Rides.
Sure.
That was the only one I was eyeing, and I'm like, that sounds really fun, whatever it is.
What do you mean? The gondola swan sounds so exhilarating.
So, the Dragonfly Rides, huge lily pads rest on the surface of a pool glistening with phosphorescent algae. Giant dragonflies rather use the lily pads as landing platforms, buzzing loudly overhead with wings as brilliant as stained glass windows and alighting briefly to drop off and pick up excited passengers. Near the entrance, a small smiling tree turns your way and beckons you over. A red squirrel clings to its leafy canopy, peering at you suspiciously.
Is this the same tree and squirrel that were running around earlier?
Um, no, it is a different.
Ragna just has a wide grin and she's like, entry for us, please. 1 ticket, right?
Give me just a second. Here is Northwind, who's also wearing his fairy wings, butterfly wings rather. His squirrel's named Red. Okay, so when you ask them the questions, is oh yes, it is 1 ticket, and you all seem to be new. Where are you from?
Oh, we're
Uh,
from Stormhaven.
Oh, I've never heard of that. I, do you have any stories about it? I love stories.
Some stories. And
Oh,
she
yeah.
looks over at Signe.
I can tell
Signe
you
would have
stories for days.
yes, she would have amazing stories.
Oh my god. Hey, you go in. I'm going to swap some stories with this fella. Are you a fella?
I am, I suppose, a fella.
All right. Well, let me chat your ear. I don't know. What? Yeah. Well, whatever. We'll sort out the details later. Anyhow, this is how it starts.
All right. So for those of you that are going to fly the dragonflies, there are
Yes.
8 of them. Um, they don't have names like the snails did.
Lame.
I know. But they fly around the thoroughfare essentially at about 20 feet. Um,
Yeah, Ragna
so
will pay your ticket and get on one of them and giggle laugh her way around.
Yes, I will also pay my ticket and pick one of the dragonflies to jump onto.
all right. So you do need to, if you'd like to fly around there and land safely, you need to make a check.
What kind of check?
Animal.
Animal handling.
Yes.
What if I don't want to do it safely?
Then you should just be Ragnar.
So Johan, you
Ooh.
fly successfully around, no problem. And it's 20 feet off the ground. You're flying over the thoroughfare, so you get to see all the people, and you can see that there are children that are like waving up at you and all that kind of stuff.
Waves back.
And you, though it doesn't matter at this point, you would essentially negate the mood of the carnival here as in one success and one failure. Um, Coming back to the landing, Ragna, you actually fall off before it lands, but you land on the lily padded where it was supposed to land. So you actually don't it doesn't take any damage. It's just not very graceful, and
Face plant.
so you face plant. It splashes water all over you, but no harm done. Just your
She's
pride.
laughing hysterically. This is great.
Um, and during this time, Signe and Northwind have been uh discussing things. You find, Signa, that Northwind is actually a Prismere native himself. Um,
What
and
luck?
he also often says more than he should. Um, and through your discussions with him, he would often say, "I'm not really supposed to talk about this, but," and then continues to talk about it.
He
You
is Hagrid.
It's
Yes.
okay. I'm gonna do the
Shouldn't have
same
told you
thing
that.
about
I
all
should
of the
not have told you
nobles.
that.
I told you that.
But he doesn't even recognize that he shouldn't have told you that. Um, so there's a few things that he would mention, but you already know a couple of the things. So what you do find from him is that uh, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light are not Carnival's original owners. Um, they are not from the Feywild, which you didn't know. Um, and that he tells you that they used to have a different carnival and that they traded places with the original owners of this carnival, which originally was not called the Witchlight Carnival because that's not they took those names themselves. And so you find out that they aren't the original owners, that they used to own a different carnival that was related to the Shadowfell, and that their names are not actually Mr. Witch and Light, which is probably just reasonable assumption, but
Well,
those are
I,
the
for
things that he
one,
mentioned
am
to you.
shocked.
Yes. But that's why it's called the Witchlight Carnivals, because those are the two names they took, and that they essentially traded carnivals with the original owners. So the original owners of the Witchlight Carnival now own the carnival that Mr. Witch and Mr. Light used to own. But that's all that you learn.
I'm gonna spill the beans and all the dirt I got on Stormhaven.
And he's going to
So for
be
every
extremely.
dirty thing he's telling me about, like the Feywild, I am letting him know every dirty thing I know about Stormhaven and the human world.
Oh, he seems very, very excited. Um, the the squirrel red uh, seems very agitated and annoyed that you're talking at all.
You know,
Just
from what
kind
I
of
could
that,
tell,
that
Red,
yeah,
all squirrels are annoyed.
yeah. So that's what you get from the Dragonfly rides.
Yay.
You probably have enough time for a couple of more events if you choose before the crowning of the Witchlight.
Carousel.
Are we gonna meet at the Calliope?
Has it been an hour?
Probably not. Like the Dragonfly rides are not.
I mean,
But
to
you,
be fair, like on average, having to work with rides, um, they're like 5 minutes tops
I mean,
to
yeah,
prevent you from getting sick. So
most of the time is waiting in line. So
that makes
Yep.
a lot more
Oh,
sense.
Ragna will keep pulling everybody to like the next thing until their hour is done and they're gonna go meet up at the Calliope.
Well, William would like to just look around and look to see how people who are coming and going from the staff area look. And I would like to just get an idea, and then I'm going to go off into a dark corner somewhere or something like that and try to disguise myself.
Okay. You don't see a whole lot of people going back through the staff area. You gather that currently, like while the carnival's going on, most everybody has jobs to do. Um, you the
What
based
about
on the
like the guards that Callum pointed out to me?
yeah, they would still be hanging out in the big top itself.
And
They may have moved out.
are there other guards, or is it like, are they like the only ones? Like, are there other guards I've seen like walking around just randomly?
No, you get from what you when you were there, you get that Burley and Thaco are probably the ones that are in charge of sort of guarding the staff area when the carnival's going on and people are out doing their thing. And it would be kind of the area that when they aren't performing themselves, so like the mermaid would be hanging out back there because she's
Okay.
only performing during the big top. So that type of scenario. So Burley the same way is that he does his strongman stuff during the big top extravaganza, and then he sort of guards the staff area while everything else is going on. And you assume as well that Mr. Witch and Mr. Light also hang out there when they're not doing anything. Although you haven't seen that Mr. Witch actually, you haven't seen him perform in the carnival at all, so you're not really sure what his deal is. But other than that, the two guards that were standing inside guarding the dressing room have probably moved sort of outside, understanding by the door to the big top.
All right. Well, then in that case, I will go with the backup plan, and I will just make myself look like some grubby drunk.
Enough.
All right. I have a disguise kit thing. I just don't know what attribute you want me to roll with it.
I think it's supposed to be performance.
So charisma.
Yeah.
Oh God, not good at all. All right. Well, yeah, I'll just continue to like walk around and just keep like walking by the front of the big top and like peering in and seeing if I can see either Light or Witch moving around. And I'll just kind of stay in that area until everyone comes and meet at the Calliope anyway.
So where were you? The rest of you going? Were you going to go to the Calliope, or were you doing something else? The
Well,
carousel. You said carousel.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's where Ragnar was headed.
yeah, and Arvid and Callum are still around the Hall of Illusions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the carousel. A procession of wooden unicorns stands motionless on a circular wooden platform. Fairgoers clamber onto the unicorns' backs, and a female centaur sets the ride in motion. The unicorns shake their manes and creak to life, cantering around the carousel to the delight of their riders. Like everything else, it is one ticket. Um, the individual who is taking the tickets and operating the carousel is Diana Cloppington, the
Nice.
centaur. Um, And she greets you all with good humor. And for those of you that are there, go ahead and make a perception check. So while she is greeting you with good humor, you all notice that there is a bit of sadness behind her eyes, and you hear some of the people in front of you, like some of the children, are talking about, "Oh wow, look, it's a centaur," and she overhears the child saying that, and in a nice way, but you can tell that in a frustrated way, she corrects them, stating that she is in fact not a centaur, but a human who made a bad deal.
Well, I'm sorry.
Do you need any help?
And she kind of, no, 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 I'm okay.
We are the digressing and side questing sort.
Well, maybe we could talk later, but please just don't hold up the line.
Of course,
Sure.
we'll talk later.
Um, oddly, uh, the unicorns on the carousel, they have names. So the first pair of unicorns are named Fortune and Bold, from the proverb "Fortune favors the bold." Um, but you notice that the name tags are missing on Bold's name tag. Fortune's name is complete, but for Bold's name tag, it just has the B, and then everything else is missing. Um, the second pair of unicorns are Pride and Fall. Pride goes before the Fall. Um, Fall's name is complete, but Pride only has the P and the R. And then the third pair is Stone and Moss. Rolling Stone gathers no moss. Um, and then again, Stone's name is complete, but Moss's name is missing everything but the S. I'm sorry, it has an M and the S at the end, so it's missing the letters. And the
Miss
last two unicorns,
Cloppington, is this
yes.
part of a riddle, or like did someone steal the letters
Well,
off of your unicorns?
if you'd like to fix them, you could. And she just sort of shrugs. As
Oh, okay, so
it's just
it's not a riddle.
no. And the last
Okay,
one,
thank you.
yeah, the last one are Stitch and Nine. Um,
A stitch in time saves 9. Yep.
there you go. Aside from that, um, there's nothing. I mean, nothing unusual about the horns or the carnival. So, or the carousel rather. So, you guys just have to pick which ones you would like to ride.
Regna will go on Stitch.
I will go on Moss.
Signe, what do you would like to ride? You've got Fortune, Bold, Pride and Fall, Stone, and Nine.
Pride, since I know it will probably be my biggest downfall.
All right. So, let me double check here. There is, not surprisingly, there is things to be found. So you all get on the unicorns, and as the unicorns are moving around, you all get a telepathic contact from one of from the carousel unicorn that you're on. So Ragna, you have a. This is what you hear from your unicorn. Signa, this is what you get from your unicorn. And Johan, this is what you get.
Hmm.
And then the ride in.
Oh, that was amazing.
Just riding different horses give you different parts of the riddle.
It seems more like a story of what happened to her.
We can go tell the others. It's about time to meet, I think.
Yeah, I don't
could
think we have
ride
time for one
again.
more go. Different horses?
Okay. Well, let's go at the back of the line.
Yeah, I didn't mean like jump the line. What kind of jerk do you think I am?
Ragna giggles.
So you guys get back through the line. You pay another ticket, and this time around, only Johan and Ragna hear additional information, which is this. And this. And you see that as you went back around the second time, Diana sort of just winked at you, kind of a little bit of a knowing.
Gonna mouth thank you at her.
And she kind of nods very discreetly and then continues ushering people on to the carousel.
Now, should we meet up with the others?
Sounds good.
All right, everybody heading to the Calliope.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know if any of you are familiar with Calliopes, but they're so freaking
Mm-hmm.
loud.
Yeah, incredibly.
And there's no way to make them not loud. Like that's just what they are. So anyway, as you approach, a merry tune spills forth from an instrument on the back of a brightly painted wagon. A monkey wearing a cloak covered with buttons turns a handle on the wagon's rear, sending music into the air from rows of golden whistles. As you watch, a goblin dressed as a ladybug uh, is sort of rattling a tin cup, sort of, I guess, asking tips for the.
Yep, Ragna will throw 4 silver in.
And um the goblin sort of looks at it and takes the money out and hands it back. Is like, buttons only, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. And she hunts around herself and tries to figure out if she has any buttons on her outfit.
Callum checks his new outfit for buttons.
I
Ragnar
don't think
reach-
I keep buttons on me.
It's
Ragnar's
fine
just
if you
like,
don't
wait a
have it, but
moment, wait a moment, wait a moment, and she has to doff her armor to grab a button from her shirt.
and as the goblin is walking around collecting buttons, it goes over and hands it to the monkey because again the monkey has got all of the buttons sewn onto the cloak there, so you can see the monkey looks as happy as monkeys can look, I suppose. But again, the mood of the carnival would go up, giving them buttons, but we are already reached the max, and you have not done anything to lower it, so we're all good.
Well, despite our best efforts, we didn't find much in the Hall of Illusions other than what we found before.
And what about you, William?
There doesn't appear to be a very easy way to get inside that doesn't involve entering from where we did before. So, if something is going to be done, I will probably have to make a move during the next time we meet with them.
That may prove to be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
We found out a bunch of lore about Zimbalina from the magical telepathic carousel.
The Dilna, the
Shh! I don't know if it's something important that people around here would be worried about.
all right. Well, what did you find out?
So she is frozen in time by 3 eggs that have split up her domain. And they're at each other's throats. They're Bavlorna, Blightstraw, Scavantha, Nightshade, and Endlin Moongrave. And their stupid realms are called Hither, Thither, and Yawn. Yeah, get this. They call themselves the Hourglass Coven. It's so weird.
It's just hither, thither, and yon. It's quite witty, really.
I mean, if you say so.
Have you never? Never mind. Not. It's neither hither, thither, or yon.
Ragnar just laughs and says, I also found it very funny.
But yeah. So we might have to go fight a bunch of hag covens if we when we go to Prismere.
Well, the problem
Well,
now is still getting there.
if we play our cards right, we might be able to get them to self-destruct. It seems that they are all very distrusting of each other. With the right push, we might be able to get them to fight amongst themselves.
Arvid, in the Feywild, have you ever crossed paths with any sort of hag or anything before?
His own
Hags.
mother.
Mm,
But
hags aren't overly too common, but not uncommon. So, just depends.
My question would be, would they be like other Fey creatures in their well, I guess it would be more of a damaging playfulness, perhaps in harmful ways of pranks and such.
Generally, hags are, you can make deals with, but they're not the playful sort.
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but for now, I still think we need to focus on finding a way there.
Hey, I was actually just thinking, I might have a way to get inside of the staff area with being completely unseen.
Yeah.
Arvid, would you mind helping me quickly?
depends. What do you want me to do?
Well, just our conversation. Most fey creatures are quite fond of tricks, yes? Pranks and such?
That and trying to trade for something.
Well, when we were in the Pixie Kingdom, they gave us those potions that allowed us to get much smaller. Perhaps if we went and told them that we wish to play a prank on one of our friends, and wish to make them small uh, when they were waking up in the morning tomorrow, do you think they would possibly give us one of the potions for a bit of coin?
It's possible.
Because if I could get that, I would be able to get into the staff area from the way that I saw without doing any harm to myself, without having to climb through uh, the thicket.
Well, we can certainly ask.
I figure if you could talk in Sylvan, it might be a bit more believable to them.
All right, I'll head over there and ask them if they want to.
It's as good a plan as any. We're running a little short on time anyway.
And I'll start walking towards that direction.
Yeah, I'll go to the Pixie Kingdom and ask them for a potion.
You gonna go talk to Jeremy?
Jeremy, come on, buddy.
Hook us up,
Named a-
Jeremy.
Named a toy spider after you, Jeremy.
So what is? You're able to go, and you can see Jeremy. So what do you want to say to him?
Jeremy, I was wondering if I could get a one of those shrinking potions.
Well, for another ticket, you can certainly come back into the Pixie Kingdom, and you can have a potion.
What if I spent a ticket and maybe gave you some coin? I kind of want to play a prank on my friend.
How much coin?
I will pull out 5 gold pieces.
And the gold pieces are nearly as big as Jeremy. He's like, okay, and he sort of just motions for you to sit those behind him. Like, and if you do, he'll try, like put like blankets and stuff, trying to cover it all up. And he hands you a potion.
I will do it.
Well,
Let's just keep this between us.
hey, Jeremy, can I ask you a question, if you don't mind?
Sure.
You've got that mime fellow in front of the hall who's lost his voice. Do you have any idea where he may have misplaced it?
Don't really talk to Candlefoot. He's even before he lost his voice, he was kind of a weirdo.
Fair. I just thought I'd ask. Well, have a nice day. Don't go spending it all at once, or if you do, make sure it's worth it.
He sort of gives you a little salute. And unfortunately, there is no handout for Jeremy. I wish they had drawn Jeremy.
Well, William, if you wish to go do what you're doing, I'm going to have a chat with our mime.
Well, the only fear I might have would be if something does go wrong, I will be in there by myself, so I will need a way to signal everyone.
Didn't you get a hand puppet?
No, that was both of those were, I believe, Arvid's.
Would you
I
like
got the
one?
pixie dust.
Cigna has one too.
Oh,
Oh, here you go.
All right, he'll look at it. He'll say, "All right, well, all right, come with me really quick before you go speak to the mime." And I just want to show them where I saw like the thicket and stuff that I could go through. And I'll just so that way they could look, and I'll say, just look over this area, and if you see, and I'll he just can't think of anything. I'll make an image of Jeremy the spider.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
If you do see that, it means I'm in a bit of trouble, and I will probably be needing some help.
Worst case scenario, I have some of the pixie dust as well. I can always go over the hedge to try to help.
Right. Oh, actually, I will just look, and I will hand it to Ragna and say, here, in case I need a bit of help too, and I'll hand her the pixie dust.
Okay.
All right. Now my last question: do you wish for me to just look around, or do you want me to, if I see an opportunity, to take it and go for the watch or the staff?
I'd say take the opportunity.
Right.
Mm. It does still strike me as odd that we're taking this item from them while trying to win their favor, but Arvid, you're the expert on this. If you think it's a valid strategy, then
Taking something that they want and then offering it back to them again once more sounds like blackmail to me, but if it works, it works.
mm,
No harm will go to anyone. Uh, it'll merely be a bargaining chip. And William will walk over towards the thicket, swig the potion, and walk on through.
Just so we're
Right.
clear, we're blaming all this on Jeremy the spider.
And you have an hour.
Yep.
And then
I'll let everyone else do whatever they were going to do first.
so Arvid was going to go talk to Candlefoot, and there is an image of Candlefoot.
Okay, he doesn't look as depressing as most mimes.
He is described though as having that he has no color, lost his color as well as his voice.
Well, hello there, Candlefoot.
He kind of looks a little bit confused and then just like kind of waves at you.
I hope you don't mind, but your large friend said you might need a bit of a hand.
He shrugged.
It appears you've lost your voice. Is that right?
Nods affirmatively.
Do you know when you lost it?
And he motions, puts up 3 fingers. But he can't really describe anything like
Three.
Can't say if it's days, nights, weeks.
Yeah, I'll just go for it like days.
Nope.
Weeks.
Nope.
Months.
3 months.
And where were you 3 months ago?
He just kind of looks around, like, motion here.
What do you remember doing at that time? Like, specifically?
He shrugs because like he didn't know how to answer that mime.
Did anything out of the usual
he's a
happen?
terrible mime if he can't answer that.
What were you doing when you? I mean, how would you describe what
Yeah.
you were doing?
I would pantomime it.
Well, did anything out of the usual happen?
Was
Compared to
originally a
normal?
clown until he
so I'll
lost
say,
his
like,
voice.
He will put his hands together and then put it on there that he was sleeping, I guess, because he doesn't know. He just woke up.
Oh, it
without a
wasn't like
voice.
it during the day. He was doing something and just discovered it. It was like he woke up and he couldn't talk.
Okay. And after this happened, did you notice you were missing anything else?
Nah, or he shakes his head no.
Do you mind if I look over you? Like, see if there's anything wrong physically?
Sort of just shrugs like, whatever.
I'd like to, like, physically check him out, see if there's anything medically wrong with him. I mean, I doubt there is, but it's worth checking.
Yeah, I gotta do a medicine check. He doesn't look particularly healthy, but he just appears to be sort of malnourished, but assumed to loss of his voice.
Well, I'm gonna try something, but there's no guarantee it'll work. Will you allow it?
Just kind of shrugs.
I'm just gonna rub his hands and use all 3 counts of his balm of the Sealy coat and just run it through on his throat and run it through him. So I'll roll the 3d6 plus 3 temporary hit points, but it's probably not gonna do anything either. Guessing that did nothing.
No, it did not.
Then I'll do the one last spell-based thing I can do. Which I very much doesn't do anything either, but because it's only a level 2 spell. Was he poisoned? Oh.
He was.
Sorry, if you said anything then, Matt, you kind of cut out.
No, it does nothing. He is not poisoned or anything like that.
Well, doesn't seem like it's within my magical means. I've got one last idea, but it's a long shot, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes, alright?
Odds.
I'm gonna head to Lost Property.
Lost and found.
I mean, you joke, but this is a fake
Oh,
carnival.
it's genuinely a great idea, and I love it.
And I'm gonna look for something like a music box or his actual voice.
A bunch
So
of colors.
you go to Lost Property, and outside of the Lost Property wagon is a large feline creature with midnight blue fur, and it has a pair of tentacles extending from its shoulders, and like everything else, has fake butterfly wings. And you can see that hanging from its collar is a small wooden keg. And you can see that there are a couple of young boys that are sort of roughhousing with it, and it's sort of like playing with these kids as you approach.
I'll spend a couple. Oh no, I've got a spell slot. I will. No, down. God damn it. And I will cast Speak with Animals. Even though it's a. No. Hi.
Let me double check. I'm not sure if this creature can actually.
Pretty
Double
sure
check.
it's a monstrosity.
Yeah, I say it's probably not going to work.
It is considered a monstrosity, but I just want to make sure of this creature itself. It has a name. Its name is Dralagran, which is interesting. So here is Dralagran, a displacer beast with really big fake wings, which I like the fact that the wings are attached to its tentacles.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is great.
I just want to make sure because obviously this is not a regular displacer beast. I want to make sure if it is capable of speech on its own. Let's see what it says.
I also like all the tiny fake butterflies attached to its tail.
It can actually speak. And upon noticing you, it would reply to you in Sylvan. Hello.
Oh, well, no one's really talked to me in Sylvan while I've been here, so it's a pleasure.
And you can see that as you guys are talking, the kids are still just like running around, and you can see that it's kind of like whipping its tail at them, like trying to get them to stop being so rowdy. Uh, what is it that you've lost, and what is it that I could help you find?
Well, it's not exactly what I've lost. It's Do you know the young gentleman outside of the Hall of Illusions?
Ah, Handlefoot.
Candlefoot. He's clearly lost something. I've been talking to him and it may seem like a long shot, but would you mind if I looked?
I can certainly look in whatever we have here.
At worst, I don't find anything, but at best, a young man gets his voice back and maybe a bit more.
And you can see that while you're doing this, one of the boys pulls out like this ball out of the lost property wagon, and without even turning, you can see Drillagron like with his tail, and then sort of like you can see that he looks angry at this point, like snatches the ball back out of his hands with a little bit of a snarl, and then throws it back into the wagon.
I'll switch to common for a second. Hey, kiddos, would you like to play with something else?
And like, this is boring. We want to go home. And you get the impression that these children are lost, and that's why they're here.
Well, I've got this block that weighs nothing.
Let's see it.
And I'll give them the block.
That seems to, at least for the moment, distract them.
Well, looks like you've got a moment's peace.
You can see that it kind of relaxes a little bit after his little outburst of anger there.
That's yeah. If it's okay with you, I'd just like a quick look. Probably find nothing, but it's better than doing nothing at all.
Yep. You can go ahead and do an investigation check.
Okay, I have advantage. Don't shit the bed.
You would have without advantage.
Hey, a 25 is not bad.
Nice.
You do not find anything resembling a lost voice, or anything that would contain a lost voice. But Durlagrin would elaborate a little bit, considering that you sort of helped him make the children stop being stupid. That there have been a lot of things gone missing that have not made their way into his lost property, which he is quite upset about. Things have just gone missing, items, and even in this case, Candle voice, people, just things just disappearing completely from the carnival.
Well, from talking to Burley, he thinks a lot of this disappearances were happening around the Hall of Illusions. Is that something you can confirm?
Well, that is the rumor that has been spread around, but I don't often leave my wagon, except for final act of the carnival.
Ah, very well. It's unfortunate I wasn't able to find anything for the young lad. But, maybe another look round the hall, glean something, but I'm kind of out of options myself.
He just sort of nods. Well, my entire job is related to things that are lost, so I know how difficult it can be.
Well, I won't take any more of your time, but the kids can keep hold of the block, as long as it keeps them entertained and a little bit out of your fur, the better.
He nods appreciatively.
Have a good carnival, friend.
You as well. Hopefully you don't lose anything.
Well, even if I do, let's hope it's not important.
Righty, so we are probably getting one step closer to the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch, and so we can have William do his search since he's got an hour here.
Sure. Well, first of all, I don't know if I get any bonus for being tiny, but I'm going to be quiet, hopefully. Um, and I just want to go around looking for where the two are, where Witch and Light are. So probably starting off in the area we last saw them.
So yeah, their wagon is very easy to spot. You can see that Burley and Thaco are both there. Um, neither of them are standing directly next to the wagon that you went to, and they are you can gather very purposefully standing away from each other.
Okay.
But they're both just kind of like milling about a little bit, and those are the only two that you see. You assume that Witch and Light are either in the wagon or have gone somewhere else. Sure.
Okay. Um, is there any way I could sneak up to the wagon and look inside?
Yep.
Right. I will attempt that.
Yep, easy enough.
Yeah, I just want to look, see if they're in there, and if they are not, I want to just look around and see if they left anything behind.
Um, yeah, you're able to slip in. They are not there.
Okay.
So you can do an investigation check.
All right.
It'll be slightly more difficult because there's a lot of ground to cover when you're tiny.
True. Fuck.
Well, keep in mind a 10 is average, so I mean, I think we all have the tendency to think anything below a 15 is bad, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
really the case. So 11's not terrible; it's above average, slightly. Um, so you can see what you originally, I mean, things that you recognize. Obviously, you can see that Mr. Witch's bunk is very neat, but unadorned. You can see that Mr. Light's bunk is gaudy and messy, and you can see that he has costumes like all over the place. Um, you can see, let's see what else we've got here. So, yeah, I mean, even though an 11 is above average, it actually doesn't find a whole lot here, fortunately. Um, like Burley said, you don't see the watch and you don't see the witchlight vein because you know that they would have them on them at most times.
Okay. Well, in that case, can I go back to the entrance and look to see if I could see any tracks leading away?
Yep. Do another investigation check for that.
Right.
There appears to be a small path essentially leading back to the big top.
Okay. I will once again try to be as sneaky as possible and head that way. You want me to reroll stealth?
Sure.
Right.
Yep. So getting back, so you can see that the smaller tent in the back is essentially the the dressing room that the guards were guarding before, and that you guys probably were sort of quickly walked through when Burley brought you back here. So you're able to get into that area.
Okay. Any sign of either of the two?
No.
Right.
And you actually don't see anybody in there currently.
Okay. I don't see any. Okay. All right. Then I
You do,
will just
I will say you do hear uh commotion in the big top itself though. So you hear noises and people
like
are in
the
there.
show or
No,
like
no,
just
no. You would
okay.
assume people probably preparing for the show.
Okay. I will go in again.
To the big top?
Yep.
Yep. So in here, you would see Mr. Light. He is sort of directing people around, telling them to fix this, do that, that type of stuff. People are sort of milling about, and you see that the ambiance is being changed from what it looked like during the Big Top Extravaganza. So they're making it look a bit different. You're what you can tell is it looks like they're trying to make it look almost like a throne room, so for the crowning of
The
the
monarch thing.
monarch.
Okay.
So setting up different decorations and stuff like that.
All right. And what about the other guys? Which anywhere to be seen?
Mr. Witch is not there that you
Okay.
can see.
And then the other people are just pretty much like working, like moving stuff around and everything.
Yep, just witch-like hands, and there are, in fact, per the thing, there are about 124 different people who work here.
All right. Real quick, can if I look at them and when I was just in the changing area, are there any more uniforms like that? Like the ones who are like just helping prepare for the show.
Yeah, do an investigation check.
All right.
You do see that there's a bunch of stuff everywhere. The dressing room there's colorful clutter. There, the tables that
Yeah.
have like makeup and jewelry and mirrors for the people to, get set up and all that. And you can see that there are chests of drawers and there's just like wardrobe stuff that was spilling over with garments. And you imagine there might be some stuff in there that
Okay.
could, but most of this does appear to be costumes for the show, and the people that are out there don't really have necessarily uniforms. I mean, they're just sort of like wearing, for lack of a better term, street clothes because they're just workers, and it's not like they get like a
Okay.
uniform to wear.
All right. Then uh just doing a quick look, if I seem like I can blend in with them, I just want to look at them, see what they're wearing. If I feel like what I have on is enough to blend in, I would like to just make myself turn regular size again and just pick up some stuff and start moving it around.
Yeah. Do roll a d8. Um, you do see if you're making yourself larger, you see a clown costume with fake butterfly wings. You figure you could probably put that on and make your way out
Okay.
without being seen.
All right. Yeah, I will do that. And is there anyone dressed like that that is doing setup like work, like moving stuff around or setting up a stage or something?
There are probably a few people that are part of the show that are also helping out because they don't
Okay.
have like, but
All right.
um,
Then I will yeah, I will do that. I will just start, you know, I will turn bigger, grab something and just like, taking a look at what people are doing, go somewhere and start moving stuff and helping do that. Trying to make my way closer and closer to light while also like keep an eye out for the other guy, Witch.
while this is happening, what is everybody else doing?
I'm just waiting for the signal.
Yep,
when things
Ragnar
go
keeping
south.
watch.
I've got one last dumbass play to make.
Okay.
Yeah, just waiting for the signal, I guess. Callum's been pretty content to just enjoy the ambiance.
Eating snacks.
Snacks sound good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You two want my candy horns?
Yeah, you
Oh,
got some
yes.
fake unicorn horns filled with candy.
Here you go.
Thank you.
I don't know. I'm still just greatly admiring this displacer beast with the fucking butterfly wings. It's just beautiful. I love it.
So, Arvid, what's the dumb thing you want to do before we get close to the
So it's a twofold. One is Hall of Illusions again, just go over it, probably not find anything. And second is try to convince Candlefoot if he will allow me to put him to sleep, like when he lost his voice, and see if I can go into his dreams to see what happened.
Mm.
So I'm not going to make you do any rolls or anything because you are not going to find anything else in the Hollow Illusions.
Yeah,
Um,
I figured as much.
and you got to do a really high DC persuasion check to get him to do that.
Okay. I will attempt it, but if I fail, I'll just do my auto success.
your birthday
Mhm.
boon.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend the birthday boon.
Yay!
All right.
Oh, real quick, I know we. What is the date now? Do I have one of those yet? Mine would be the 7th day of the 2nd month.
Not yet.
Okay.
Let me pull this up. So you would get him to agree to that, but he would refuse to do it now. Like he would like agree, like, okay, well, when I go to sleep tonight, you're free to do that, but I can't just. I have a job to do, so I can't. You can't just put me to sleep now.
Okay, that's fair.
Pull up the. Had this up anyway. Pull up the calendar.
Yeah, that's the only kind of healer in the group. I have exhausted all my possibilities.
Ah, we have several healers in this group.
Yeah, Ragna can do something.
So let's see. Uh, Today in game would be the 20th of Carousel, so essentially of January.
So I'm a few weeks away. Shit. All right.
Yeah, about 1.5 because there's 29 days in first month.
Okay.
So you've got that bit that you can do later on, and as you're perusing around, William, you do not. I mean, you just don't see Mr. Witch.
All right. Am I able to like in the big tent and stuff? Where is Light? Is he like dead center? Like ordering people around, or is he doing his own thing?
Yeah, he would be sort of in the center, sort of directing people around.
All right. Um.
And you
all
start to see that you can start to hear people outside, and the
right,
rest
Okay.
of you outside can start to see people queuing up at the
All
big top.
If
right.
people are queuing up, Callum will just queue up too, since all we're doing is waiting anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they said.
Um. So this is coming soon, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then William is getting a little bit nervous, running out of time. Uh, I am going to reach into like a pouch on my side and grab what I have, a vial of acid. And I'm just gonna put it in my palm and like cup it so no one can see it. I'm just walking around with it. And I will approach Light.
And throw
And
acid in his face.
not exactly. I don't want to hurt anyone. I said I wouldn't hurt them.
I was say I
Um.
didn't realize we're doing a Batman supervillain arc here.
And
Two-Face.
I am. Yeah, I'm just gonna walk up to him and I'm gonna say, like I'll change my voice. Mr. Light, Thaco was looking for you. Said he has a bit of a problem.
Do a deception check.
Deception.
Wah, wah.
He sort of looks at you and goes, why are you dressed like that? You get the idea that he recognizes who you are.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, uh, I I fell off the dragonflies into the water.
Ah, well, if you don't have any business here, please wait outside until the event starts.
Right? Well, he did say he needs you, but okay. I'll go change back into my clothes.
And he sort of nods.
All right. And I will head back to the place, to like the changing room, and just change back into my clothes. And looking back out there, are Burley and Thaco still out there, or have they moved in?
Um, Burley has started to move. Has moved in. Thaco is still there, seemingly by himself. The rest of you outside, you actually now see Mr. Witch and Durlagron walking together towards the big top.
Interesting.
Yeah, so all except for Arvid, you guys have never seen Durlagon, so now it's big displacer beats with wings and Mr. Witch walking together.
He's actually quite a nice person to talk to.
Oh, did you get to speak with Mr. Witch?
Oh no, I'm talking about
The beast?
Durlagron.
He looks amazing.
Huh.
He's in charge of Lost and Found.
Is he now?
And you also see Candlefoot has made his way from the Hall of Illusions and has walked into the big top, going back towards Mr. Light.
Well, I mean, interesting, I suppose. I wonder how everything's going with William.
Well, there's not a lot of shouting of stop, stop, thief, so probably okay.
I suppose you're right. Can't be that bad.
I
That
just
or he's been
realized.
caught and they fed him to the mermaid or something.
Oh, he wouldn't be caught that easily. The one thing I realized is if we.
How do you
One of
think he
us
came into
went-
our employment? He got caught.
She just laughs after like a moment of silence. I realized if one of us wins the monarch, do we get to hold the thing? At that point, we can just, I don't know, disappear with it.
Possibly.
I could be wrong, but my understanding was we want it before the event to be able to use it as leverage because they need it to hold the event.
I think you would want the thing back anyway.
Suppose that's a good point.
I mean, at this point, we're running out of time.
Very true. Well, we'll do what we can. Personally, I wasn't a fan of blackmailing them anyway, as William put it. So, we can only do what we can do.
We'll just
What
have to
coincidence.
talk really well.
Still, such a pity there was no one to hit.
I mean, you got to wrestle those goblins.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to kind of put on a show. Like, oh no, I'm losing, and like, oh, finally I'm the victor. But like, eh.
Hmm.
Wait, you're telling me you didn't find the strongman competition?
Yeah, I mean, it's goblins.
What? No, I mean the ones up by the gondolas.
Wait, what? You mean there was a better one?
Hey, there's a strongman like hit the thing, send it up.
Oh, I want to go do that.
I mean,
It's a bit too late now.
it's getting to be the early hours of the morning at this point. The
Hasn't shot me yet.
And I mean, yeah, you get now like it's pretty much starting. So I mean, most of the people have like left all of the other places, including the people running the game. So you can see that the actual workers are all sort of filing in as well.
All right, you
Not
have
the,
a point.
not the fact that he's talking out of his ass.
It'll only take. You only have to wait another 4 years.
Crush it next time.
Well, as I'm changing back into my clothes, you said Burley was coming in.
Yeah, so you can see at this point, if you all are going in, you can see that spectators are taking their seats. You can see now Durlagron, and is standing off to the side with Mr. Witch and Burley. They're standing sort of together, kind of on the sidelines. And Candlefoot is also standing over there, and he appears to be holding some type of box. As you can see, Mr. Light is kind of pacing around the center of the ring, sort of just waiting for everybody to sit down and get situated. Um, so you guys can
Did we manage to
take
fix
your
any
seats.
problems today?
Nope.
As far as I understand it, we're still looking for a way into the Feywild.
Nailing it.
Well, we'll see how this plays out.
Don't worry. It'll all go fair first.
So the Mr. Light starts to, everybody's sitting down, and there's a spotlight on him, and you can see that there are uh, a bunch of clowns that are around him as well. And he goes into a speech, which is actually not written for me to read or anything like that. But
You think
he,
those clowns are also bodyguards?
that's possible. But he starts talking about, thanking everybody for coming to the carnival this evening, and that it is time to crown the Witchlight Monarch, and
Woo.
Quack, quack, quack.
bestows this upon those that have taken part in the festivities and brought the carnival to life. So essentially, you all having brought the mood of the carnival up. He has his witchlight vein, and it starts sort of spinning around, and you can see this sort of thread of golden light that's winding through the crowd. Um, and let's see, which one of you is it? It is.
William.
Jelly
It's.
bean starfish.
It is actually weaving through the crowd, and it lands on Ragna.
Yeah!
Yay!
Ragnar!
She cheers and giggles and gets very amused by the light.
So he motions for you to come forward. Um,
Can
and you
I
can see
actually
that
heft her up on my shoulders and carry her down?
if you would like, and she would allow it, I suppose.
Yep. Very
Um,
amusing.
so as you're doing that, he goes over to Candlefoot, and he opens up this box and pulls out this crown. Um, and it's a crown of golden butterflies. And as you, there is a throne that Signe can basically sit you in, and then he does two things. He walks over to you, and then he does the knighting thing where he takes the witchlight vein and he puts it on both of your shoulders, and then places the golden butterfly crown on your head, in which the all those happy clowns that were beside him start throwing glitter all over the place. Um, and then Palasha, the mermaid, starts to sing joyous songs, and you see that there are pixies fluttering all around her. Um, and that goes on for a little bit. Everybody's cheering and screaming, and as the song concludes, Mr. Light will sort of lead you on a parade through the carnival, with Burley following behind, setting off fireworks. And those of you, like William, go ahead and do a perception check.
Oh, I this is one of my specialties. Oh, okay.
You notice that as all these festivities are going on and everybody's following around and cheering and stuff, that Durlagon is escorting Mr. Witch back towards the staff area.
Okay. Am I still in there, or did I go out with everyone else? Because I'm assuming this took a while.
It took probably 15, 20 minutes for the whole thing to be.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't know if I would have just stayed in there the entire time. I don't think they would have allowed me to stay in there the entire time, honestly.
Well, I mean, not everybody is like necessarily following around in the parade.
All right, I'll say I would have come out and sat at the like closest seating area to the changing room.
Yep.
So I'll take note of it and watch and just keep an eye on where this gigantic beast goes that I don't know is a nice person because I wasn't with all the rest of them.
So Ragna,
Mm-hmm.
you get this.
Wow.
Which is convenient that the paladin got the charisma bonus.
Yep.
So you can do that for 3 times, basically, for up to an hour.
Okay.
So after the parade ends, as I said, the only thing that as you noticed is that you know now that Mr. Witch has returned back to the staff area. Additionally, once the parade is over, the crown actually disappears from your head. It's going back to the box, basically. You don't get to keep the crown.
She giggles.
That's a mild disappointment, but I suppose it's understandable.
So, what are you guys gonna? Are you gonna gather somewhere? What is it that you want to? As this is all winding down.
Does the displacer beast ever leave Witch, or does he stay with him?
He stays with them. You don't see him return back to the.
Okay. Then in that case, I will just meet up with the rest of the group.
So, is there a specific place that you guys wanted to like meet?
I would assume probably somewhere close to where I told them to watch for the sign, just in case.
Yeah, Callum is
Mhm.
likely to hang around there if he hasn't spotted William by this point.
Right. So give me a second here. So as you guys are meeting up together, a gnome walks up towards you and sort of appears to be a little bit drunk, kind of stumbling a little bit, uh, and kind of makes a loud gesture. You get the idea that this person is trying to make sure that uh, everybody's sort of hearing what they're saying. And kind of drunkenly is like, "Oh well, it's high time you folks were elsewhere," and kind of like made a motion of like, "Follow me," and the gnome starts walking towards the hall of illusion.
Ragnar will laugh and follow.
Callum raises an eyebrow, but follows.
Yeah.
William will follow, but not go in.
So the
Well, if I yell, we're hauling ass.
you may have seen this person earlier. You didn't go to the specific place, but as you were wandering around, you may looking at certain things, you may have seen her. She appears to be a bard. She has like a lute and also a pet frog on her shoulder. This is actually who you see.
That's a
Ella
big frog.
Tumblestrom. She's a gnome, so it's not a huge frog. It's still a big frog, but in proportions,
It's
not
a
as
dire
big.
frog.
Yes. Um, but she was at the feasting orchard, which you didn't go to. But so as you all, for those of you that do follow her, she doesn't go. She goes towards the Hall of Illusion. She doesn't actually go in. And she kind of motions for all you to get close so that she kind of starts to whisper, and she says, well, it seems that we have a mutual acquaintance.
Oh, would you be the one who saw to our entry being secured?
Yeah, that was me.
Thank you.
Yeah, and she's kind of like, yeah, that doesn't matter. The I assume you know who I'm speaking of, but
There's a few who would fit, but I have a good idea.
she says, oh, well, okay, well, I can't really be seen hanging out here too long, so just remember this and go to the mirrors. And she says, hither, thither, here and there, wander yonder, show me where. And then she quickly runs off.
I see. Signe, doesn't that match up a bit with what you had heard on the carousel?
I mean, sort of.
Hither and thither, dude.
Well,
And yonder.
yes, yawn's just short for yonder.
Let's go do it.
What's the worst that can happen? We best go now before they close it up.
And you can see that it is. I mean, like the carnival is specifically starting to. You can see stuff starting to shut down, and people are starting to walk out. Because the carnival's over.
Signe will run out, bodily pick up William like a sack of potatoes.
He
And
dodges it.
nope. Come on. We have to go. No time to explain.
I heard everything. I understand. You don't have to carry me.
No, you have to get in here. Shepherds him in somehow.
I mean, it sounds like William would just go in willingly, yes? Like, I'm not
Yes.
happy about it, but he heard the conversation. He was with us.
Yes.
He said he stayed outside.
Oh no, you
We
guys
weren't
didn't go inside yet.
We never went
Yeah,
inside.
you weren't inside yet. She told
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
thought we were following her inside.
No,
Yeah,
she
that's
stood
what I
outside.
was. That's why William was like dodging it because he was standing next to you. You go to pick him up.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah,
No, it's all good.
So, yeah, if you guys do head in, Arvid and Callum both sort of like recognized a general place that you might go to try this, where some of those mirrors that were weird, but not the ones that made you look old or young.
I am going to approach Ragna real quick and just put my hand on her shoulder and just say, I really don't want to see anything in here till we get to where we need to be. Please just guide me, and I'll just kind of close my eyes.
Yep, yep, keep your eyes shut. And she will lead him to where the others are going.
Well, should we say it in common or should I say it in Sylvan, considering this is a fey place?
We can try saying it at the same time. You and Sylvan, me in common.
Okay then.
What if we all have to say it?
Let's try common first. Might as well rule it out.
All right. Who wants
Shall
to?
we?
Hither, thither, here and there. Wander yonder, show me where.
I'll try to say it around the same time as him. I'll like if I just hear him start speaking it, I'll talk too.
So, standing in front of the mirror, you can see your present day reflection is not, again, one of the stranger mirrors, but you can see that this sort of mist starts to swirl in the mirror, and your reflection is no longer there at all. It's more of a cloudy sort of look to this mirror.
Interesting. Callum tries to touch it again.
You immediately disappear.
Do
Ragna
we all
touches
see
it.
the same thing, or is it only the people who said it?
Everybody would see it.
Okay, I'll do the same then.
Time to leap
Yep.
through.
Well, wasn't the way I was expecting to get back to the Feywild, but alright. And touches the mirror.
Alrighty.
Oak.
1 second here.
Just remember, I have one spell slot and no bombs.
So, you all feel a strange sort of pull as you touch the mirror. And after you sort of make this transition, you find yourselves standing at the edge of a raised and broken causeway under a lazy twilight sky. The causeway, which is built from pale stones that glow faintly from within, towers over the surrounding landscape, but large sections of it have crumbled away. So, very old looking causeway. The parts that are still intact are separated by large gaps where you can still see the remnants of the collapses there, and you can see that there is a fog shrouded swamp that is below you in all directions, and you can see the murk sort of the smell of that swamp and rotting plants and everything is really hits you as soon as you find yourself in this place. Um, and you also hear the loud noises of nature, um, frogs and birds and that type of thing. And that's where we'll pick up next time.